Ooh, what kind?
A Dachshund Chihuahua mix.
Oh, I think Chihuahuas are nasty, vile creatures, but Dachshunds are adorable. So
Dachshund mixes are the best.
Hopefully, it's more Dachshund than Chihuahua.
And it looks more Dachshund than Chihuahua. I'll say that. Oh, this thing disconnect. What do I do? No, I want to extend. That's not duplicate.
That's not
How's it going, everybody?
It's going good.
Yep. Doing good here.
Nice. Are you unpacked?
I'll say yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
We're going in opposite directions, you and I. Look at this. You want to see something crazy? Hold on. Look at the chaos of the.
Yeah, that's.
Those are mostly books. That's the dumb thing about it.
I can't tell you how many bins of Legos I moved.
We've got one of those. Yeah, Sue signed the offer today, so it's happening.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys buy a place or what?
She was offered a position at Michigan State University.
Oh.
So, yeah, starts May 3rd. So scramble time. Yeah, we just got a place. It's a new apartment complex outside of Lansing in a place called Okemos. So we're pumped, but yeah, it's a lot all at once.
What does your wife do?
She's a vet tech. They have a really cool animal hospital there at the college. So she'll be working on the animals, but also doing rounds for the students, teaching them what she's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 10 years, my daughter can ask for a recommendation to get in. She desperately wants to do animal tech stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a friend I have a friend who is an actor who is a vet tech who moved from here to Atlanta and was able to. She wasn't super thrilled when her vet office was bought by one of the large national ones, but then it allowed. She'd been looking at moving to Atlanta, and she found out that she could transfer to Atlanta and get paid more in Atlanta. So she was like, "Cool." And now she bought a house there and has been back here to act as well. But
I was gonna say there's acting opportunities out there too.
Yeah, that was part of why she'd been looking at it. She'd been doing well, but it was sort of one of those things where she was like, "Okay, I think I want to." There might be more opportunities for me there as kind of a medium fish in a smaller pond.
Exactly.
At least for a little bit. But yeah. Well, that's exciting. Did you guys rent out here? You said? Yeah. Right?
Yeah. That's part of the thing too. We've been renting the same place because we like Las Vegas so much for 17 years now. What's up? Yeah.
17? You beat me. I thought I was here for a long time.
This is the broadcast button right up there in the upper. There you go. Okay. Do you mind? Oh, Beatrice, go with Mom. Go with Mom. Yeah. So this place that we found is it's so dumb. It's we're gonna get an additional 2 bathrooms, a dishwasher, a washer and dryer, a pool, a gym, and it's like the same. You know what I mean? It's like. It's so much nicer, and it's not more expensive. I don't understand. Los Angeles.
Yeah, you gotta be crazy to buy a house here.
Hey, that'd be nice too.
Yeah. It's all
jokes for different folks.
All a matter of perspective, I guess, right? I don't think anyone's going anywhere, but yeah. I mean, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just being dumb. I like the idea that in 2 weeks, I'll be doing this from my 3rd floor balcony.
Nice.
Nice.
I might not have anything else there yet. We're gonna have like a week when we're gonna be there, but our stuff is still being like moved across country in a truck. So I'll be back on the laptop, I guess, for that.
Let's see here.
First. Good. Don't need that anymore.
Where is Greysoul? Greysoul in the
Greysoul!
More deliberate.
He's in the game, but-
Sales, talk to marketing. Cool. Don't need that.
So we have any thoughts on what went kaboom at the cliffhanger?
Oh, jeez.
That was the front doors to the church.
Oh, it was the front. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally blew them up.
Okay. So that's how he wants to play. Okay.
Yeah, we're all spread out, and there's it's bad at all the places.
Yeah. Well, I was watching from the air. And then, so I had spotty connections at moments, but I pretty much caught everything that was going on. I'm more worried for you guys in the bathhouse right now, seeing what's.
Like, I don't want to kill a bunch of innocent people. It's not their fault. They're right.
Isn't it though?
I mean, if you told me I would level up if I killed a bunch of people, I'd give it a try.
I was totally beyond that.
I'm willing to check it out.
We'll give it a little try.
Yeah.
News.
Here, I'll send you a link of the place I'm moving to.
Heck yeah.
Oh, actually, let me find a photo of our particular. Yes. So I'm sending you in the private chat here a link, and the main photo that comes up, the 3rd floor wraparound balcony is me, and the floor above it is also me.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
Nice.
isn't that stupid?
Cool.
That's solid, man.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited about it. And everything surrounding it is just trees because it's Michigan. Like, trees.
No those things.
Yeah, but it's 5 minutes from my brother and 10 minutes from my wife's new job. So
Awesome.
yeah. But I've been here since 2000, so it's going to be weird.
And are you guys? Is there any timeline on this, or are you thinking this could be? We'll see. You'll see.
I think it's forever, man. I mean, just imagining the tuition costs for my son at the school is. It's very exciting to think that he'll get a discount on college because of this. We'll take it.
Yeah, what is the discount? Is it if you work so many years? It seems
like it's significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how my partner Natalie went to SC. Of it technically, I mean they credit it, so there's taxes that have to be paid on it, but there's zero tuition, out of pocket tuition for faculty. Her dad's a cancer research doctor there.
Wow.
But I wondered why though. It's like it seemed kind of jerky to me that the school would still then put it basically on your payroll as though, and you have to pay taxes on it.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to just being like, your tuition is waived.
It looks like it's half tuition for
that's still significant.
all faculty. Yeah. Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
With the way colleges are now.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. You know, it's like I don't even care what the offer is. Like the amount we'll save on tuition in 5 years or whatever it is.
When I went to college, I got through it in 3 years as a way to try and keep my debt down. When my sister, who was 4 years younger than me, went to college, she graduated in 2.5 years trying to do the same thing and had double the debt that I had.
Oh.
Despite the fact that she also went to a Cal State University.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that is working your ass off though. 2.5, 3 years is insane too, but 2.5.
The way I pulled that off is I found out that I could take more than max credits after my first quarter, and all I had to do was write an essay that said why I could take more than max credits. And the first quarter I took max credits. And so I wrote it in an essay, and I was like, well, I did it last quarter. And I think that worked out okay. So maybe I could take like one more class than that. And then every essay after that was basically 2 sentences long. I did it last quarter. And they were like, okay.
Yeah, I ended up doing 150 credits, a little over 150 credits in 4 years because my double major had no crossover credits. But I mean, if you're studying international security and theater, you shouldn't be, it's not exactly
punch.
surprising. And there were a couple of us actually at William & Mary because it had good programs in both. But I remember it was one of the really understanding left brain, right brain during finals of going from the world of imagination to writing about why FARC does what they do and have they lost their way philosophically as a freedom fighting organization, etc. Like, yeah. School is fun in a lot of ways, though. I miss, especially when you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I was eavesdropping on you a bit when I was backstage, and I heard who was it? Went to William and Mary.
I did.
My sister went there.
When?
Recently.
Oh, yeah. I forget if we talked about it. Yeah, so she would be much after me. What'd she study?
She studied. I think she did like poli-sci and Hispanic studies or something like that. She ended up actually continuing on to get her master's at Johns Hopkins.
Oh, yeah.
She did their social health program, which is really interesting.
Great school. Yep. My brother-in-law's sister and now his brother-in-law, they're both doctors. They're both Hopkins doctors. But Hopkins is
William and Mary. And actually, speaking of like war-torn craziness, her husband also went there, and he now does like conflict resolution workshops for tribal leaders in Africa and works for like an NGO and does all kinds of this craziness that's just
it's deeply
connected to the world.
Yeah, I mean, as the oldest university and the second oldest college, it has a lot of deep roots all over.
I was just going to say, I'm Googling people who went to William and Mary because I want to see what actors were in the theater program. And like Glenn Close was.
Glenn Close.
That's cool.
Yep. And Linda Lavin.
Yeah. And John Stewart, which is fun, but he was a psychology major. But then you scroll up and it's like, oh, also Thomas Jefferson, James Monroe, John Tyler, and George Washington. It's like, it's a school that George Washington went to.
When I was a kid, I went to Williamsburg a few times with my folks.
Wow.
Yeah, the school loves us to call it the alma mater of the nation, except it's like we haven't, the school hasn't graduated a president in over 100 years.
Since they wore wigs.
Yale, Harvard. Thomas Jefferson tried to shut down William and Mary when he created UVA, which is part of the whole, he's not wrong. I mean, but he also was kind of he's a very problematic figure.
wrong about a few things.
Yeah. But he was sort of like, if we're our own nation, why do we have this university named after the dual monarchy in England? Maybe we should, close it. It's like, you're not wrong, but how about you've already confiscated the land, etc. What's more like sticking it to England and being like, haha, we have your school.
And from all accounts, a well-loved double monarchy.
Yes. I do. When we had to change, when the NCAA forced us to change our mascot, one of the ones that was up was the ampersand as the mascot, which would have been fun because we were. It was
That's
Colonel
you get
Ebert
amped at all your games.
Wait, Colonel who?
It was Colonel Ebert. It was like a Muppet. Before it was Tribe, and Tribe backwards is Ebert. And so it was this sort of like green buccaneer was the mascot. And before it was the symbol of was a W with green and yellow and a green and yellow feather, because it was the first school that also accepted Native Americans and had a Native American outreach program for higher education. And at the time, though, NCAA said no mascots can have any feathers whatsoever. And the choice was either to, if William & Mary fought it, the school could fight it, but they could not participate in any NCAA competitions or sanctioned games while the matter was up for dispute. So we are now the Griffins, which have a lot of feathers.
Still have feathers.
It's like, I was like, well played. That is a bit of seems on brand to be like, okay, majestic, old school, and happens to have feathers. But yeah, but William, it's they've had reach out for all sorts of humanitarian a lot of State Department, a lot of like, how do we fix problems in the world, many of which that we have caused.
So loud.
We got movies.
I love how it just thrust Joe into the hot seat.
Now I'm hearing echo.
He's taking over. Like the role of Greg will be played by Joe.
Yeah.
You getting an echo, Greg?
I was for a second, but I think it went away, I think.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentledems. My name is Gregory Crafts, and I'm your Dungeon Master this evening. Welcome to episode 27 of Brutes in the Shackled City. Last week, we left off on quite the cliffhanger. I would like to have a brief recap, and then we're going to dive right into the action.
Big bada boom.
Paul, you watched last week's episode.
I did.
Tell us how it was from a witness's point of view.
From over 10,000 feet in the air, it was excellent. Trying to remember, it was a lot of kind of trying to figure out what was happening. Brick was going on his side course, trying to get some information on the family that killed his mercenary band and ended up going on a hot little date. We picked up a little bit of information there that it seems as though the daughter of one of the high families is perhaps in over her head, and perhaps with Jill in Zataroon. So that was kind of a whoa. Meanwhile, back at the bathhouse, Seneca and Birch were holding things down, and when the whole city started going ablaze and the guards that were with them, it appears as though they are possessed, was where we left them on the cliffhanger. Let's see, Greysoul. What was Greysoul doing? Greysoul was doing research, right? I don't remember. I might need some help. But in the end, everything was burning, and there was a giant explosion, which I guess were the doors of the Church of Helm. Meanwhile, I'm back at getting my weapons silver plated, so I've got some payback. Perhaps my first oath of vengeance. And Lorenzo, what were you doing? You found out you got a note slipped under your door, giving information that you swung by and saw that the guy who you paid off is making good on his money, slipping you some info, and let you know that some adventurers had gone down into Zadarum, but we don't know yet who those ones are, and you told them to basically keep doing what they're doing. And I think I just don't remember what Tarafirith and Greysoul were doing. If anyone can fill in there.
Greysoul, you want to fill in the gap?
You're muted.
You're still muted, Matt.
You're still muted.
Mute, buddy.
He's the strong silent type.
Tara, let's have you do the recap on your end real quick while we figure out Matt's audio problem.
On my end, I had a very interesting conversation with a paladin who apparently looked like Bruce Campbell, and almost set up a study date, but was waylaid by my mimics, getting into trouble. I think Trouble with Mimics should be a film project.
Matt, you having any luck yet? Sorry, meant to put that in the chat.
And then, just got that squared away. Was about to, I think, go and see what everyone else was doing when big bada boom. Big bada boom.
Well, Matt, go on ahead and try exiting and come on back. Try exiting fully and coming on back. I'm guessing you might have an initiation, sequence initiation issue. We will bring him back as soon as he comes back in. In the meantime, though, yes, thank you guys very much for the recap. I'm going to allow some really, really fast introductions here. Let's start with Brick.
I am Joe McMahon. I'm playing Brick, the Black Scale Dragonborn, who is hitting up Sky, who's the owner of a shop that sells used adventuring goods. I was looking for some stuff to go help murder a dude, but instead ended up on a date, as was previously mentioned. But I'm very excited to go punch some things that are already on fire with my pit.
All right. Let's see if Matt's working. Matt?
Can you hear me?
Hey!
Yes, we can.
All right. The old sequence initiation bug, right?
Yep.
Hey.
That was one I pulled right on my ass.
Yeah. But to answer the previous question, I was trying to unmind control the dwarf who was the owner of the bathhouse to see if we get some more information there. And then our presumably Drakthar started speaking through him, talking some serious shade, and then everything blew up. So I guess he can talk the talk and walk the walk.
All right, Lorenzo.
I'm going to play Lorenzo, the human rogue. Last it was left off, he was just getting out of bed after hearing an explosion and wondering if he should even deal with that or go back to sleep. Because I am seriously low on hit points and everything.
All righty. Tara.
My name is Lauren. I play Tarafirith, the Elven Bard. I currently have 2 mimics mimicking buckets that I was using to help in a bucket brigade for the fires. And then the explosion happened, and my fate is unknown.
We'll find out in just a moment. Birch.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Adam. I'm playing Birch, and Seneca and I are in a bathhouse about to kill a lot of innocent people. And I'll leave it up to you to decide if this is the first time that I've had a studio light in the bedroom setting. It's very strange for me. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Studio light in the bedroom setting, I believe, is part of our Only Brutes extra package.
Right.
Onlybrutes.com coming soon. Seneca.
Hello, I'm Seth Tygeson. I play Seneca Polaris, a Tabashi wizard. You've heard of a social justice warrior. I am a social justice wizard. It's true. We're not going to die today, despite the fact that all I really have is one level 2 spell, and cantrips. Lots of cantrips. Restored it all back to the way it was before I thought I was going to get a long rest.
And finally, last but not least, Paul.
Hi there, Paul Masterson. I play the Golden Scaled Dragonborn Paladin Oath of Vengeance of the Church of Helm, and I think I'm hanging out with the blacksmith right now and wondering what's going on. And yeah, seeing what Greg's got for us.
Well, let's go on ahead and figure out what's going on here. Let's actually start it with Paul. Feld, you are walking on your way back through the town. You have had enough time to get only one of your weapons silver-plated in anticipation of having to deal with either were creatures or vampires or some other bit of supernatural what the fuckery. Paul, which weapon did you want to have silvered first?
I would have had the mace silvered first.
Okay, so you had the mace silvered. Fantastic. Go on ahead and mark that off your character sheet. You watched as your blacksmith friend took your beloved mace and had it electroplated in silver using what looks to be, he said it wasn't quite the normal way of going about and doing things, but you used the powers of a shocker lizard, specifically the glands of a shocker lizard that had been preserved, and used them to do the electroplating. The rest of the lizard was not present. This was just the glands, but it was quite the impressive sight. He said that give him a few hours and your mace would be ready. So you hung out, you waited, and as you are walking back now with your freshly silvered mace, he says, not to give it a little bit of time to set before seeing any sort of use, or the plating might get ruined. You might have to take it back. But as you start walking back around the outer rings of Cauldron back towards the church, you see smoke rising in the northwest corridor. Black smoke, thick, heavy black smoke. And a few moments after noticing the smoke, you see a gigantic fireball, and seconds later, a loud kaboom kind of echoes all throughout the cauldron.
I run towards it.
All right. We'll come back to you in a moment. Brick, old buddy, old pal.
Yeah.
Sky looks up beyond you as you're regaling her with tales of your previous adventuring life and tales of War College, of you and Feld pranking people and everything. And you notice at one point that she's looking not at you but past you with a horrified gaze. Now, you thought that the gaze might have been at your latest story of how you set off a shaving cream bomb in the underclassmen's shared bathroom. But no, it goes from bewilderment to realization to horror very quickly as she looks past you. As you turn your shoulder and look over, you see a gigantic plume of black smoke coming from the northeast corner of Cauldron. Seconds later, kaboom. A fireball goes up, and you could feel the shockwave in the whole ground rumble.
I'm like, shit, and I get up immediately. I say, Sky, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I need to go check this out. This probably involves the brutes somehow. You're welcome to come if you'd like. Otherwise, I'll circle back around and catch up with you later.
Let's go.
All right, yeah.
All right, so
I'll lead her out of the bar and on to excitement.
All right. Lorenzo, you heard the cry of fire in the streets. You looked out your front window. You saw people with buckets running towards the church. Your abode is not terribly far from there, and you recognize the direction, and you do see that it's smoke rising amongst the spires of the church and the bell tower. It's easy to recognize what this is. Seconds after you're standing there at the window, you see a flash and a fireball go up in the air. You hear a very loud, earth-shattering kaboom. I need you to make a reflex save.
A reflex save.
Someone's gonna fall.
Reflex.
And I don't have my fun evasion stuff yet either.
You'll be fine.
Dexterity save of 12. All right. Partial save. The shockwave blows in the window. And you take...
He's going to be
Actually,
dead.
You get incredibly lucky. You only take 2 points of slashing damage as the window slices, as the fragments of the window slice into you.
Any more than that, and I literally bleed to death in my own room.
I was gonna be like, that noble end.
Yeah, that would have been a rough start, man.
Why did he die? A window broke.
And there was no one around.
And there was no one around. Well, you get knocked flat on your ass. Your ears are ringing. Your face is bleeding, and you are staggered, for lack of a better term. Let's go to Seneca and Birch.
Can I double check to confirm this? The guards do not carry ranged weapons, correct?
The guards do not carry ranged weapons?
Yes.
That is an interesting question. The guards... Hold on a moment.
He meant to ask it like this. The guards don't have ranged weapons.
I checked last time, but I wanted to double check because we were kind of getting harried at the end there. So I'm like, I just want to be sure before I execute on this plan.
The guards are armed with spears.
Oh,
Okay,
you
so
can
it's not
throw
kind of a ranged
spears.
weapon.
They can throw them. They have chain shirts. They have shields, and they're wielding spears.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
we're going to have to roll initiative because these guys kind of
Oh,
threatened us, Greg.
All right. Well, hold on one moment. I'm just cleaning up the map here. Let's see. I've got Seneca. I've got you guys. I got to take out.
If I remember correctly, they threatened us by crying and saying, "I'm sorry," which is the worst, most damaging threat I can imagine. Clearly, they must be killed.
That's exactly how I remember it.
I'm going to use temporary tokens for these guys right now, but they will...
You won't need them for long. I'm kidding.
I mean, you're probably not wrong.
I'm not going to kill them, Greg.
Doesn't mean they're not going to get themselves killed.
Oh, no.
They also don't have to stay on the map if they kill you, Birch.
Ooh.
All right.
Not to be callous, but if they kill themselves and they had silver weapons, maybe, make sure that they find a nice home.
But haven't we learned that silver weapons are for, like, werewolves, not for vampires?
It's a corpse,
Right, but we don't know whether we're going to run into more were-rats, etc. I mean, they.
Okay.
So practical, Phil.
All right. And let me just
Ever
make
bring
sure
a butter
that our
knife?
camera view.
To a short sword fight. Like, I don't know what you know what I mean.
Sure. All right.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to just get the setup going here. You're watching my expressions change as I'm realizing that things aren't functioning correctly. I'm trying to be all like big and dramatic right now, guys. God damn it. They're killing me.
It's just a dramatic pause. It's an extended dramatic pause as the tension rises.
Absolutely. I like that. You're smart.
What will be revealed in this black square? What death awaits us?
What death and dismemberment is about to happen?
Well, it's pretty dramatic now that I just learned Seneca has one spell left.
Nonsense. I have 2 spells left.
Do you have cantrips?
Yes. But I also have
Technically, cantrips are unlimited, so you've got all the spells you could possibly need.
I mostly rely on the same 2 cantrips anyway.
You guys, I'm an idiot.
Uh-oh.
You are?
What happened?
I have the control flames cantrip.
Ooh.
Well, I don't control actual flames.
I was like, to be fair, you can't use it as a reaction.
What's the fine print on that one?
I can instantaneously extinguish flames within a 5-foot cube, guys.
But can you do it as a reaction?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cantrip. I can do it whenever I want.
No. I mean, like, how is it an action to perform? Is it action? Is it a movement action? Like, oh, okay, yeah. So then it would still happen. Like, if you could do it as a reaction, like as the flames are coming towards you, you'd be like, "Oh no!" But since you have to be like, "I'm burned," and now
I'm just saying,
off of me.
Why did I bother with buckets?
Run 5 feet.
Yeah, all right,
cast,
fair enough.
Run 5 feet, cast. Run 5 feet, cast. 10 feet. Cover that.
Something like Titanic. I mean, it's cool guys that can control water.
Okay, so I'm going to use an example from Harry Potter as to why it is that you got buckets. Hermione is the smartest character, hands down, amongst everybody, right? And they mess this up in the movies because they just make her very, very, very capable. But the one thing that she doesn't have the ability to do is that she has lived in the Muggle world her whole life. And so when she gets overwhelmed, the first thing she does is she starts thinking like a Muggle. And there's the situation where she's got to be able to get light to make the creeping thing go away. And she's like, oh my gosh, okay, I just got to get some wood and light some stuff on fire. And Ron is like, what? You got a wand. Just do Lumos. What's wrong with you? And she's like, oh yeah. Like, she's this way smarter than he is. But in that overwhelming moment, she goes back to what she knows. And therefore, I think your reaction is totally reasonable.
You know, honestly, I have the most of my experience in gaming overall is tanks and damage dealers. I don't often play magic users. So I don't go to my spells list first.
Yeah. See, that makes sense. So I still maintain that your intelligence is not in question.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So these are all friendly guards, right, Greg? These creepy looking dudes with the weird helmets.
These are town guardsmen. I just couldn't find the right tokens. So the dread guard are subbing in for the moment.
I was gonna say I feel less guilty about what's about to happen to them.
Roll some initiative, boys.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Get it done.
All right. Hold on.
And
All of us, or just the people in that room?
Just the people in that room.
I'm 3 miles away, but I've got it at 14.
I don't know how he's handling it.
I got a +6 to initiative, which is the only reason why that roll is worth anything.
Whew.
All right. The first guardsman.
I believe it.
With his spear comes up.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, no.
Oh, he came up. Never mind. That's less sweet.
He looks sad about it, though, right?
That's a 14 hit.
So sorry?
Does a 14 hit?
It does not.
It does not. Okay. So he actually tries to jab at you with your spear, and you manage to deflect it or just duck around it. Because you're not wielding anything at the moment, right?
No, sir.
What are you wielding it?
Well, I mean, I've got my staff, but that's just all.
Your cat-like reflexes were more than enough to keep you safe for the moment. Birch, it is your action.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm going to exit the changing room here where I was trying to sleep and only got a full rest. I only see these two guys. I can't see anyone else, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
You can actually see like a glimpse of a guy out through the door here, basically. Maybe just barely.
Man.
Barely. Not really. You can see like the edge of a dude.
Yeah. So this is the thing. It would be much easier if you just told me I wouldn't feel guilty about killing him, but I don't think that's true. Holy crap. What size animal can I be is the real question, right?
That's a good question.
Seneca, do you want to fight?
If you fly, then they only get one shot at you.
Yeah.
Until they go and pick up their spear.
Sure. If I
fly over the water to make it so it's a huge pain in the butt for that to happen.
Oh my god. I mean, I could fly. That's not real. I mean, oh god. I'm I'm gonna turn in to a I'm gonna turn into a bear, Greg.
Turn into a bear.
When in doubt, turn into a bear.
When in doubt, knock him out.
Well, that's true too. I think physical attacks from an animal is going to be easier to knock them out than my magic. It's hard to knock someone out with fire. You know what I mean? Like just shh. It doesn't really work. I can attack on the same turn. Okay, half. So I could turn into a black bear. So that's what I am.
All right. Well, that's a large creature, right?
Oh, well, it's a medium beast.
Oh, is it really? Only medium? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, then...
I'm big boned, you know.
All right. You morph into a bear.
And I can't attack or anything on this turn because my action was turning into it. But I am going to move on the other side here. So Seneca's flanked with that thing if he wants to be.
You can't move through that direction because of the wall here.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
But you can go splashing in the water and running around if you'd like.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, because black bears can go 40 feet. Yeah, I could totally do that. So all right, I go through the water and shake it off, and I'm gonna stay there, and that'll be my. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of growl at this one over here to be like, stay the fuck away. Oops, sorry.
Give me an intimidate check.
Oh, as a bear, sure.
Yeah, I'll give you an intimidate. I'll let you have an intimidate.
What stat is intimidate?
That would be charisma. Or actually, in this case, what I'll let you do is I'll let you use strength because it's you're a goddamn bear right now.
Yeah, I'm a +2 as a bear, so that'll be that's better than my -2 charisma as a bear. So
I mean, yeah. So
all right, so 13.
13. Actually, with a brown bear, you've got a strength of 19, dude.
Oh, that's a brown bear. I'm a black bear, sadly.
Oh, black bear. Sorry about that. I'm looking at the token that I used.
I haven't leveled up.
Black bear 5e.
Sorry, what's your strength right now?
Right now I'm 15 as a black bear.
As a black bear, 15. Copy that. Okay. So yeah, you actually do manage to. He starts startled. He puts his spear on you, and he is intent on following his orders. You could see that this man. It's very clear by the look on his face that he thinks he is going to die. He is traumatized at the idea that he has to feed himself to the enemy at the moment. But this is yeah. All right, moving on. Seneca.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, here we go. We're gonna cast a little sleepy sleep right here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hope that this is gonna work. That's what I'm going with there.
You know, if you put it here, you technically managed to get almost everybody.
If I put it here?
Yeah, or here.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't have to worry about it getting birch, which is what I was worried about, because your HP is high.
Right? Last time.
Your HP looking like a bear, huh? You think you're better than a guard? Because if you are, that could be good.
I have 19 hit points as a black bear, if you're curious.
What? I have 20 hit points. How do you have 19?
Well, this is a black bear. I mean...
Go ahead and roll your damage, please.
Yes, sir. All right. Sleepy sleep. Casting a second level spell. That was great.
We'll talk about how they totally hose druids.
Okay, there's that. And then here's my additional 2d8. So it's 34 total HP worth of sleeping times.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
All right.
That's it for my level 2 spells.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, man. Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah, we can make a run for it if they're all sleeping.
The only one who's still awake is the one that you're flanking.
All right. Knock him out, man.
This is where kiss slap kiss comes in.
All right. It is the guard's turn. The guard, surrounded, is going to attempt to stab Seneca.
I believe it.
He's going to. He's first going to make a 5-foot adjustment over here.
I'm not even mad.
Birch, you can get a attack of opportunity on him.
Oh,
He's going to.
sure. Hell yeah. All right. I'm going to just try to swat at him with my claw.
Okay.
But I'm going to use the meaty bits, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Does the attack happen when he's in his previous square, giving Birch advantage, or is it happening afterward, not giving advantage?
It's as he's exiting. You know what? I'll say that you don't normally apply advantage to attacks of opportunity.
Well, does a 15 hit? Because then it doesn't matter.
I'm going to say that it does hit in this case because you're attacking him from behind, and he has a shield that bumps up his AC, but his shield is not trained on you. His shield is trained on the wizard, so you hit.
Nice.
And he does not successfully move.
1d6 plus 2. So my meaty paw does 6 damage to the back of his head.
All right. He is not. And are you attempting to kill, or are you attempting just to?
I'm trying to knock him out.
Trying to knock him out. Okay, so subdual. Got it. All right. He because you didn't actually drop him in the shot, he is going to stop and turn and attempt to stab Seneca. He is wielding one-handed right now, so he does an 18 hit.
It's got to meet it. So yep, that'll do it.
Meet it, beat it. Got it. So you take 5 points of damage.
That's all right.
Yeah. All right.
I could soak that. I'm a wizard tank.
Birch, it is your action.
I don't think those words mean what you think they mean.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. I'm going to... Oh, thank you. I'm going to... oh, jeez. Oh, I can't talk to you as a bear. I was just going to communicate to Seneca, and now I really can't. So instead, I'm going to use my 2 attacks. First, I'm gonna bite his leg so he stops running away from me. I'm +3 on my bite attack. Does a 13 bite his leg?
13 does not get through his armor.
Now I'm real mad, so I try to punch him in the head with my meaty paws.
Get him.
It's more of a slap, right?
It's a 12.
He actually he sees your paw coming and fends it off with a shield.
What a dumb turn. Oh, I'm so mad.
So here's the thing. The town guard isn't completely inefficient.
I do that bare necessities thing where I itch my back on the wall.
Okay. Seneca.
I'm going to cast the other spell that I've got left, also sleep, to put this guy to sleep.
Roll it.
22.
Yep. He is out.
Nice.
All right, they are out. You know that spell does not last long.
We should tie them up.
Does the bear nod in agreement? Adam, you are muted.
I for sure not in agreement. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Do I have rope? There might be rope somewhere around. I'm
As
gonna
you start searching for rope. Give me a round of perception checks, please.
Oh yeah. Am I using my keen sense of smell?
Negative. But I'll give you advantage on it.
If you say I'm using my spell, I get advantage.
You're using You're using animal senses for sure. So take advantage. And Seneca.
6. Super good rolls today.
19.
Oh, that was you. Sorry about that. I thought that
Seneca
was.
should have advantage in searching for a ball of string, though, shouldn't he?
Yeah, for searching for a ball of string, certainly. But then he fails a will save to resist playing with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
The 19, Greg?
Birch, as you, with your keen bear ears, you hear a loud explosion in the distance.
I become like a hunting dog where I point.
Yeah. And a second later, you feel like a shockwave go through the building.
Oh shoot! Nice. I'm real dumb. While this is going down, I'm gonna take everybody's shields and spears.
Also smart.
We can just shove them all in like a room.
Throw them in the sauna.
We'll throw them in the stairs, skip them to the goblins. They don't need them, right?
While you're tying them up, I'm going to be grabbing the spears and shields and tossing them in that room I was sleeping in the corner down there.
That sounds good.
Because I can do that with my mouth and paws.
Hopefully without waking them.
Did you successfully find rope? Because I don't got rope.
Oh, I rolled a 19. I hope so. Do we?
No, that wasn't for...
That was just a sense? Okay.
That was just to sense what's going on. Seneca,
do they have any shackles or rope on them?
You feel a rumble go through the building. And actually, the guardsmen have shackles.
Sweet.
That's
let's
right.
let's shackle up right now. Yeah.
All right. So
tie them all together. I also have 50 feet of rope, but I'm a bear, so I don't know where the rope goes when I turn into a bear.
Well, it's
a real philosophical question.
It actually merges with your being and becomes part of you.
I'm not reaching inside.
Where does the rope go, Greg? I turn around like...
It becomes your left kidney.
I think you have worms,
kidney, and hemp comes out.
I drop bear form, and I say, that was worthless, and I hand you... I have rope if you want it, but let's instead shackle them together and just keep the keys.
Yeah, sounds good.
Using their own shackles? Okay. But as soon as we've done this, we've got to run out to see where that explosion is, yeah?
Go out first. I'll catch up.
Okay. Cool. Good idea. Oh, thanks.
I'm taking that rope from you, though, since you got them in shackles, and then we can tie them up together. So it's shackled, then rope. That way we're real secure. Ain't nobody going anywhere.
Yeah. All right. So they're all tied up.
Do any of them have silvery, shiny weapons that catch their eye?
No. Seneca, what are you doing while you stay behind?
I'm tying them up. So they're already shackled, but I'm going to rope them up and tie them up as well.
Cool. Where are you leaving them?
I'm going to put them, let's see, there's 4 of them. So this isn't very deep, right?
I mean, deep enough that it's like 3 feet. You could hypothetically drown them.
Oh, let's put them in here then.
Don't give them ideas like that. Those are...
I was like, will they drown? That's bad and not what I want. I see how that was confusing.
The door to that office is locked right now.
Come on, man. All right, then I guess I'm going to tie him up right here over in this corner. Bloop.
What, in that corner?
Yeah.
All right. So you're just stacking them up 1, 2, 3. 4.
You're not centipeding them, right? You're
no. I'm putting them in a block, so it's like boop, boop. Like if the 4 of all 4 of them had their shackles together behind their backs, and then I'm roping up that, so they not only have to untie all the rope and then get out the shackles.
All right, Birch, give me another perception check real quick.
Sure. This time it'll be as me. Perception.
Cool.
Oh.
Right. You see, you can quite clearly see that there is flames shooting up in the northeast corner of Cauldron, shooting up into the air, black smoke pouring. Pouring into the sky.
I'm gonna like prop the door back open and go, I'm not going without you. Hurry up.
Well, I guess I don't really have a choice then. So, what is it?
Fire. Bad.
All right, I'm running out. The one problem though, I'm much faster than you.
I will use my second wild shape and prove you wrong because I don't like being challenged.
Well, you say want to race and morph into whatever it is you're about to morph into.
A war horse that goes 60 feet.
All right. Well,
You're welcome.
I will keep up for exactly 1 turn.
I really almost said the words, "You can ride me if you want to," and I stopped myself, but I shared anyway. I just
the moment that you start to pull away from me after the first turn, because I can run 60 feet if I'm taking 2 move actions as my turn, and then I can use feline agility on the first thing, which turns that into 120.
That's amazing. Well, hop on my back and we'll just go 120 because I'll just dash the whole time.
All right. I got my feline agility back now because I didn't move.
Cool. You guys start tearing around the streets to Cauldron. Matter of fact,
I would like you to describe a cat riding a horse riding through town, please.
There's a cat riding a horse riding through town. Now,
it's like Puss in Boots.
Are you taking the
Bremen Town musicians?
Are you taking the low road, the middle road, or the high road?
Well, if you take the high road and I take the low road, and we'll take the oh boy,
low, middle, or high.
Birch
Seneca,
gets crushed by flying debris in his day.
You're already started basically on the middle.
The mid road.
The middle road.
We'll stay, yeah.
Okay. So as you start, you get out onto the main thoroughfare and you really start opening it up. Feld, give me a perception check.
All right.
Surely he won't recognize this. This could be any cat riding a horse. I mean, the odds of him knowing this is his friend.
As you are running, you hear a, and as you look over your shoulder, there is a giant Tabashi riding a war horse running up behind you.
A large beast war horse.
A large noble beast war horse riding up behind you.
Jump on, Paul, jump on.
Is there room to jump on?
I'm a large beast.
Probably way too much, Phil.
Yeah, I'm pretty big. That's
what's
true.
your Adam? What's your strength as the horse?
18.
Give me a strength save.
Oh, that's
do you try to jump on, Phil?
I mean,
I
now
don't
you
think so.
got to.
Seneca's giving you the
okay,
hop on.
cool. Then sure. Then I'll jump on.
And that's how Birch died.
We're about to learn where the saying "the dragon scale that broke the horse's back" came from.
Crushed beneath the weight of a fully plated
19.
Birch is a beast.
And give me an athletics check, Sir Feldricken.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna look like freaking Legolas, where you grab it.
Do I get advantage since I have proficiency with this?
Show me a nat one. Nat one.
Yeah,
All you need
please.
is a pig and a chicken, and you're the Bremen Town musicians.
No money, big whammy. No money, big whammy.
18.
Yeah.
Greg, please describe it.
With the grace of an elf, you take 3 steps out and spring up, and Seneca holds out his paw, and you grasp onto it, and he pulls you on, and you straddle, like you in air, you straddle the horse and land on his back with a whoomp. And you, after a moment's hesitation, Birch, you do manage to keep going with barely losing stride.
We're on Birch, by the way.
So you're telling me there's a dragonborn Tabaxi riding a war horse? I mean, I love this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
All right. We'll come back to you.
I want a painting or something.
Tara.
This will be the first shirt sold on Only Brutes.
You had run to the well in the kitchen, and you took Bob and Gord and put them down into the well and pulled them back up, and they're both full of water. And you started heading towards the front doors when you heard Greysoul yell, "Get back, get back." And seconds later, you are hit with a shockwave. I need a Constitution save, please. All right.
It's not bad.
Die rolling.
How many hit points do you have?
Oh, I have. Let me see. I have 20.
You take. You managed to save for half. You take 11.
Okay.
You are.
Oh, that would have been bad.
You are knocked. You are knocked against the wall. I need you to make one more con save to retain consciousness. You are knocked. You crack into the wall. Your head smashes against the flagstone walls, and you face plant. You face plant onto the ground as the world goes black around you.
And now I have TBI.
Bonus. Greysoul.
Yes.
Thank you and good night.
This is gonna be ugly.
Let's start with the deck save.
I don't know if a deck save is gonna matter.
We'll see.
Not that one.
It hasn't.
But if it's a dex for half, it's not gonna matter. I have one uno hit point. Ugh. So if that's damage dice, don't worry about it.
One hit point?
Remember, I got taken down and then did a critical death save, so I woke up with one hit point, and then we were supposed to go get a rest, which we haven't gotten yet.
This is
So
us going for a rest.
I'm a little.
You'll
fragile.
only be instantly and irredeemably dead if it's all of your hit points over again.
Hold real quick.
I'm a fine pink mist, everybody.
Your eyes go wide with the realization of what eye for an eye meant. You had a split second to turn and react. You saw your brothers and you saw the brethren, the acolytes of the church behind you, and you bravely throw yourself on top of them to try and knock them down. You feel the fireball sear across your back for the barest of instants before unconsciousness takes you. Son.
Father. Well, actually, is this a male or a female voice?
Male.
All right. Yes, Father. Do I not feel the fire anymore?
You don't feel anything. The world goes from black to all white, though.
Oh.
And you hear a voice. You don't feel like you can move.
Mm-hmm. If I look down, can I see myself? Or is it just whiteness?
It's just whiteness right now.
Okay.
It wasn't supposed to be this way.
Am I dead?
It wasn't supposed to be this way.
Well,
you have so much to do.
I don't know what to say. I'm kind of... The church blew up on me, I guess.
I wish we could welcome you to join us right now. You were supposed to join us right now. It breaks my heart that you had to suffer the same fate that we did. But at least for you, it was quick. It was supposed to be quick. But they won't let you join us. They say you owe a debt.
Who is they?
I know not who they are, but they are powerful. And they say that you swore an oath and they will not let you go that easily.
Oh, great.
I can help you. They're going to send you back. They're going to send you back. They're going to send you back. But your mother and I, we can help you, son. We can help you. We can help you stay safe and stay strong.
Okay. How?
Will you accept our help?
Yes, I will.
Do you swear?
How do I know this isn't they right now pulling the same crap that they did down in that dungeon?
Make an insight check.
Okay.
Oh, no, are your parents dead?
You think
This
that
is all new information.
You think that this is the same voice that has spoken to you. You think that this is your father. You are pretty certain.
Boy.
Okay, then I swear.
Out of game, you now must take Warlock as your next level.
Okay.
What?
We'll talk about the details later.
Right here.
This is some what? What was that, Lauren?
This is some Destiny shit right here.
You, we. When you have time to rest, you will learn the new extent of what we could do for you. But do us proud, son. We will take care of you. We'll do everything we can in our powers. But there's no stopping them. They're going to take you back now. I'm sorry. You wake up, and the first thing that you smell is burning flesh. It only takes you a couple of seconds to realize that it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes open. They flutter open, and you see your skin blackened, boiled, charred away to the bone in some places, suddenly filling back in. It's agonizing.
Mm-hmm.
You'd scream, but your lungs are torched. Until they're not. And everyone within a vicinity of you that is still alive hears an ungodly howl of agony. After a couple moments, the pain stops. You are bruised, you are bloodied, but otherwise you are restored to 1 hit point.
Okay.
That's where he lives.
Yeah, right. Who needs hit dice?
He had a big vision while he was unconscious, says his next level must be Warlock!
What of the other acolytes that I kind of threw myself on? Did they make it through this?
Your ears are ringing, but as your hearing starts to come back, you hear screams of pain and horror about you. You hear feet running. You manage to slowly get yourself to your knees and then eventually to your feet. And someone reaches out. You don't know who. They help you. They steady you up and they kind of hold you for a moment and they say, "It's a miracle. It's a miracle." And you look about you, and the ones under you, you saved a couple. But parts of the structure came down. You see limbs sticking out from underneath some of the stone doorway that had collapsed. There's blood splattered all over the place, screaming in pain. But after a couple of moments, you look at yourself and you feel intact and functional and conscious, as if you were about as good as you were before the explosion, oddly enough. And you look around and you start helping people up, and they start taking care of themselves. And even the folks that were under you are in far worse shape.
All right. Can I take a quick action to use my preserve life?
On who?
Myself for 15, and then the 3 most horrible looking for 5 each.
Okay. The ones that are still alive, that you managed to cover in the explosion. You
actually it'll be 2, 2, and 1 for the 3.
Copy that. Okay. So they, you feel the healing surge go through you and to them, and they breathe life, and their bodies breathe life back in. There's moaning of pain and agony around you, and give me a perception check. You see around the corner a telltale feathered hat on the ground.
Uh-oh, that's Tara's hat, right?
Yep.
I will pick that up, and I will start looking for Tara.
All right.
Is there any sign of her body, or is it just the hat?
I need an investigation check.
Okay, this is going to be terrible.
Holy shit, a 20 and a 19?
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
You find...
Very nice.
I have what schizophrenics call a brief moment of clarity.
Pretty much. You come running around the corner into the church, and you splash into puddles of water. Your feet on the cobblestone. And you look around, and you see a body under a pair of shields.
Mm-hmm.
And then you recognize that it's Tara.
All right. I'm gonna get the shields. I'm gonna get the shields off of her and see if she's conscious or not.
Dex save,
can I move the shields?
Make a dex save.
4.
As you reach down at the shield, it grows a face and tries to bite you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He has 1 hit point.
No, I'm at 16 now.
Oh,
I did the channel divinity.
So now I can fuck with him. Is what we're doing, right? That's
geez.
So, suddenly the shield tries to bite you, and you manage to drop it and push it back.
Yeah.
Tara, give me a con save.
Con save or death save?
Constitution save, thank you, not a death save. You slowly start coming back into consciousness as you feel something thud upon you, and you hear somebody swearing a blue streak in some dialect over you, and you feel this thud on your lower torso. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try and get up and look around.
All right. You see her. You see her like disoriented and bleeding and burned.
I will try to help her up.
Mm-hmm.
If the shields don't try to eat me again.
The shields.
You should know him.
Yeah.
Well, they're they're still animals, though, and they are still very scared animals at the moment.
Well, that's true.
So if you actually want to make a persuasion check, Matt.
Okay.
Or is animal handling still a thing? 5? It is, isn't it?
There is an animal handling. Yep.
Yeah, give me an animal handling on this.
All right, handling some animals.
All right. You kind of like manage to push them off, and it becomes good enough, and they resume their natural shapes. For the briefest of moments, and you see these toothy maws on these globular creatures with these big bulbous eyes staring at you for a moment, and then they settle back into their bucket forms.
Okay. In helping Tara up, I will give her a cure wounds.
Okay.
For 15.
Very nice. All right. Good stuff.
Well done.
It gets me almost back to full health. That is awesome.
Yeah. So your clothes are definitely burnt. Your head is still ringing, but ultimately you're conscious and stable, and that's the important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you guys a second.
I'll gather up
your hat got a little burned. I'm sorry, and I'll hand her hat.
That's all right. I needed a new one anyway.
It is not looking good at the entrance. There are a lot of people hurt.
Well, I actually still have plenty of spells I can do, so we should probably go and help them.
This was Drakthar. He was taunting me through the dwarf, saying it was repayment for us setting off those drums of oil underneath the bathhouse.
Well, then I think as soon as we all get back together, we should heal up, gather our resources, and head back down there, because we can't let this stand.
Is there still fire raging, Greg?
Yes.
All right.
And right now, everybody is quite disoriented. You could see people stumbling around in shock. The doors have been blown open at this point by the force of everything. They got blown inward and then sprung back out. So they're all over the place, but there's chunks of the large, heavy wooden doors all over the place burning. Not only that, but the brush and everything surrounding the church. Now, the church itself is mostly rock, and there are whole chunks of the front structure just gone, blown into the street, blown into the building itself.
So we're not outside of the church, are we? We're still
inside the church.
We're inside.
Yeah. Okay, looking around, can I see where the fire is doing the most structural damage?
That's the thing, is that the explosion did far more structural damage than the fire can do, because the church is mostly stone. But there's still burning debris from these 2-3-story doors that have collapsed and are burning in places. So you still have fire to control, and then you also have to worry about anything that was burning anything in the front vestibule that could be potentially on fire as well. You're not at risk of the building going up because of the nature of it. They set the doors on fire as a fuse, for lack of a better term. They wanted to get as many people as close to the doors as possible before the oil went up.
Okay. So is there like a concentration area of it?
Yeah,
or is
in the
it
front.
just okay? So where it seems the hottest and the worst, we'll put a 5-foot cube of control flames.
Okay. What do I have to do to adjudicate that?
Tell her she won D&D. Move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can instantaneously extinguish the flames within the cube.
All right. It's actually 5 feet cube within 60 feet of you. Okay. So you do manage to start. And is this a cantrip or is this a first level?
This is a cantrip.
Oh, all right. So you come in and you're just firing this off left and right, and you're just working your way down. Instead of starting at the center or something, it's actually better to start at the edge and just work your way
that's
in.
Probably true.
Because otherwise it would just reignite the second that you gave up your focus on it. So you go out there and you start using control flame to extinguish parts of it. After a couple of moments, these two buckets come running in, and they jump and splash water all over places that you're, and then they run back, and you see people kind of like as they go on past, and
see if we can get the Church of Helm to revise their pet policy.
Well, they'll definitely be thinking about new guard strategies at this point. I can tell you that.
I'll shout at them. Good job, Bob and Gort.
All right, Lorenzo, you pick yourself up after the explosion, and you survey your house. All the windows have been blown in the front from the force of the explosion, and you look and you see that it's like that for buildings up and down the block as well. You, what would you like to do?
Well, I probably should run and help because this could spread. So the very first thing I'm going to do is take my superior healing potion.
Mm-hmm.
I've been holding on for a while. So I have to roll that in here. I looked it up too. Is 8 D4s.
8 D4? Yep. All right, 8 D4 plus.
8 D4s plus this 8.
8 D4 plus 8. Let's roll it.
Plus 8.
30 hit points back.
So I am at full health.
Okay.
And then I'm going to run towards the out that building and towards the explosion of the church.
Okay. Brick, you and Sky run up outside, and you see chaos. There's the first thing that you see, but that you notice, besides the fact that the front doors have been blown apart and chunks of wood are on fire all over the place and black smoke rising, and it looks like fire has spread across the ground and it's just burning openly. The first thing that you see is a mutilated corpse in the center of the street.
You said the doors to the church got blown back out, right? So I can see through the doorway inside the church?
Yeah, they got blown apart is the best way to describe it. So
looking in the doorways, looking on the streets, do I recognize any people or any bodies that appear to be any of my compatriots?
Give me a perception check. 19. Okay. So you are looking around and you see a handful of folks who had been out at night running about, a couple of town guardsmen, a couple of other folks who had just been like seeing what was going on with the fire, a couple of looky-loos. You recognize them as folks that you'd seen around the church before, like they'd be around during the day, like they lived there, they had shops in the area or whatever. This happened at night. You see a handful of folks who are picking themselves up, brushing themselves off. Some of them are wounded. You could see burns, you could see debris wounds and other things. In the ground, you take a second and you notice that in front of the body, mutilated in the street, you see written in flames, an eye for an eye, in big letters. It took you a moment to realize what that was, but as you're looking at it, you see that it spells that quite clearly. And you look down and you see this disemboweled corpse in acolyte's robes with the head missing. The head is a few feet away. You recognize the shaved pate of Brother Rufus.
Brick's gonna curse a lot. And then he's gonna, if it's safe, he's gonna head into the church since he doesn't see any of the brutes out here.
It is not safe.
Oh, it is not safe to get into this?
It is not safe. There are still chunks of flaming debris and fire, and the it looks like parts of the central archway have fallen. Like it's chaos right now. There's no.
Is the noise from the burning wood loud enough that I don't think I could be heard if I yell?
You could try.
All right, I'm gonna yell towards the door. Is there anybody in the church? Are you okay? Do you need help?
Tara, Greysoul, give me perception checks, please. Greysoul, you can hear him clear as day.
All right, I will yell back, "We're in here."
Brick, give me a perception.
Yeah.
Just because he can hear you, don't mean you can hear him.
Fair enough.
You can hear something.
All right, but it doesn't look like it's safe for me to get through the doorway.
It doesn't sound like an easy way to get through right now. No.
Okay. With no obvious way in, then I'm going to turn to Sky and say, let's help the people out here. And I'm just going to go to the closest person who looks like he's not going to be dead in the next 3 minutes and do what I can. I think I've actually got, hold on, I might actually have a oil plate. Nope. I already used my healing drought. Okay. Yeah, then I'm just going to, if people are bloody and bandaged and bleeding, I'm going to do my best to find scraps of cloth, something to bandage them up, basic, binding wounds, setting bones, that sort of stuff, until it looks like it might be safe enough to get into the church, at which point I'll tell Sky that I'm heading in.
Okay.
And if it doesn't happen, we'll just keep helping people out in the streets.
After a couple, as you're bending down to tend to the first person, you hear. And from around the corner, from around the bend in the road, you see a warhorse with a dragonborn and a tabashi tearing ass down the street.
I'm going to wave and say, Feld, over here.
So that we start moving towards him.
All right. And after a couple of moments, Lorenzo, you can join them.
I can move almost as fast as always. But.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is that you're also weren't that far from there. Your home is pretty close. We'll pick exactly where, but your home is pretty close to the church. So,
Phil, there's no safe way to the church yet. The flames are too powerful. I can hear voices within. I don't know how injured they are. If you have an idea as to how to kill the flames and get in, otherwise I'm just helping people out here on the streets. Oh, you also remember Sky. He's come to help.
Hi.
Hello. Are there any combatants in the area or any signs of struggle?
No. One of the acolytes is headless. A lot of injured passerbys. And this big flaming message that says eye for an eye. So it looks like we're going to go fuck up a vampire after
Drakthar. As soon as he says that, it mentions combatants and the fire, I'm going to kind of rear up a little bit so Seneca gets the clue to either get off or stay on. And I'm going to start circling the area looking for any sign of someone who might have been close enough to do this spell.
I'm going to get off.
All right. You start running around, and as you get around to the northwest side of the situation, you actually hear what sounds like guardsmen rallying, and you can actually hear Captain Skellerang's voice yelling orders, and you can see a bucket brigade coming down the hillway from the guards outpost.
In that case, I will go up to the first two people with the bucket and kind of like, horses can kind of get low to kind of be like, to see if they hop on.
Okay. Persuasion.
Makes a person.
Situation. I love it.
God, being
Come
different
on.
animals. That's a. Is that a wisdom or a charisma thing? Persuasion.
Actually, you know what? I will do I just did a pair of insight checks, and one of them does jump on your back and grabs the other one and throws them up, and you can.
As soon as they're on, I haul ass back to where I think they need to go with those buckets.
Okay, so you start bringing them back, and yeah, the rest you can hear the rest of a fire crew coming. Brick, give me an insight. I'm gonna whisper you something real quick.
All right.
Did this explosion happen on the doorsteps of the church, or did it happen someplace else?
It happened on the doorstep of the church, the actual like literal doorstep of it. Oh, I did that from the mastermind window, so that's coming from a different account.
Interesting.
He is not conscious.
Ah.
As you guys are looking around, you see a pair of guardsmen's boots that are occupied with feet, ankles, legs, thighs, and not much else within pretty much kind of point blank range of the explosion. You see parts. You see an arm.
Greg, I'm going to fire off a divine sense to see whether see if I pick up anything still lurking in the area.
Cool. As you are looking about, there's a 30-foot range on that.
60.
60.
You
do not pick anything up immediately.
Yes.
But yeah, you give me an insight, actually. You recognize that. Okay.
3.
You recognize that most of the folks standing around right now are guardsmen, or who are injured, who look like they were here in the immediate whatever are guardsmen. But I can also tell you one thing: they don't have buckets or anything. They don't have firefighting accoutrement.
Do they? So is it appearing like in? Can I gather from where those the bloody boots are? Does it appear as though those are basically that they were the bombers?
Somebody was not necessarily, but you could. What you can tell is that someone was basically at ground zero when it went off.
Yeah. Do they? Do they appear to have a commanding officer? Do they also appear to be in dazed, or do they appear to be in like a position to fight?
They appear to be dazed. Okay. And you know, one of them is sitting up, woozy as hell, and just sitting in shock, essentially, but conscious. He kind of sits up and is starting to just like. He looked like he got thrown backwards and managed to avoid the fireball, but the shockwave sure did a number on him. He probably has got a concussion, among other things.
So I'm going to ask him if he did you see what happened?
What? What?
I'm assuming he has blood coming out of his ears, and I can deduce that is
out of at least one ear. Yeah.
If his other ear that isn't bleeding, I mean, did you see what happened? What did you see?
We did what we were told. We did what we were told. We couldn't stop it. We did what we were told. We couldn't stop it.
I understand.
We couldn't stop it. He got in our heads. He got in our heads and he told us to do this and we couldn't stop it. Sorry. I'm sorry.
There will be time to make amends.
He just collapses weeping and wailing and screaming in agony.
Do I see Sir Alec anywhere?
No. You're outside. You do not see him.
Okay. I am going to go charging through the flames inside.
Cool. Dragonborn, you don't give a fuck about flames. Yeah, so you just...
Golden Dragonborn, fire resistance.
Yeah, you're like... Cool. You, give me a strength check to see if you can navigate this without...
Just a straight strength or athletics?
Athletics is good. Let's do athletics. Because you're climbing over flaming debris. Shit's not stable.
13.
Okay. It takes you about a minute to get through, and you can feel your equipment heating up as you're climbing over, but you're just, Now is it resistance or is it immunity?
Resistance.
Resistance, so you're only taking half.
Correct.
All right. All right, give me 3 dex saves, please.
Okay. $15.
Okay.
9. And 19.
How much HP do you have?
30.
Okay. Okay, with your resistance, you only take 8 points of damage fighting your way through there. Okay. That was with two successes and a fail, just to see how much the resistance was. Yeah. So, you managed to basically not just climb over. You're moving shit as you go, and you're just like grabbing onto flaming hot pieces of debris and pulling things apart. And there's a couple of times that you will lift something and immediately regret having lifted it because you see remains, limbs crushed, all kinds of stuff. Just there, you could tell that there were people who were right at the door when this went off. And the only thing that you can think of is thank Helm that they were there, because at least it was quick. They probably never even knew it hit them. But as you get through, you start, as you're getting closer and closer into the middle of this, you hear yelling and chaos on the other side. But at one point, you grab a flaming chunk of the door and are in the middle of moving it, and you feel like this whoosh as the flame goes out. And you shove it off, and you manage to get through, and you're smoldering. Your armor is still glowing hot. You could feel it like singeing your scales as you emerge, and you see Tara in smoked and torn and tattered clothes, just like working her magic, and Greysoul going around and trying to heal as many people as possible. Yeah.
Tarafirith, are there any injured who need assistance? Have you seen Sir Alec?
I haven't seen Sir Alec, but there are many injured in here.
So I'm going to move on in and try and help with the triage while calling out for Sir Alec. Outside is, yes, Brick and Birch, and Lorenzo is outside, as is Seneca. Keep in mind, it appears as though Drakthar was able to control the minds of a number of the guardsmen, and that they brought the explosives.
Well, we should keep our guard up in case he has any follow-up attacks after that.
Agreed.
You hear a loud clanging, and the telltale sign of heavy plate metal clanging about, and you turn and you see Sir Alec charging with another bucket, He's been tossing buckets this whole time along with the rest of the fire crew and yelling about orders and helping people. And here comes Jenya, still in her bedrobes, which seems to be the way that you guys catch her quite frequently, in her freaking nightgown, the poor woman. Hair down about her in a mess. She's covered in soot and smoke, and she's working her healing magics, and she's leading the triage and hauling people and barking orders about into the kitchen, getting people squared away. Sir Alec stops and says, "Sir Feldrican, are you hurt?"
Merely a few singes from getting through the fire, but you must know, Drakthar was able to control a number of the members of the guard. They are the ones who brought the explosives to our door. We need to be on guard.
What is Drakthar?
We believe he is a vampire who has made a lair underneath Cauldron.
Right.
Do we have
Let's take care of this first, and then
Yes.
we will take... Yes.
Sir Alec, do we have those water wands yet for the festival? Could those be used?
The good father has not returned yet, no.
All right. Would I best be of use with the buckets or with healing?
Yes. Back to outside.
Brick is going to yell for Seneca to come over and take a look at this guard. Seneca, when you left the bathhouse, were there still guards with you?
There were. We subdued 4.
Do you recognize this one? Because I thought he was there when I left. And I point to the guy on the ground that...
Give me an insight. Yep, that's one of the guards that was there when he was. Matter of fact, he's the one who laughed and said that this wouldn't be a problem at all.
To make sure that I'm clear, this is one of the same 4 that we just tied up a moment ago?
No. There were a lot of guards. They had about a dozen.
Okay.
They had a dozen posted. They left 4 to kill you, but then they sent the rest off. And as you're looking about, you recognize the fact that pretty much all of the injured bodies here are guardsmen. And you see that there are 5 still alive, and 1 that was blown apart, 2 others that were killed very quickly from asphyxiation and burning, and the other 5 are in various states of grievous injury.
Who is still of sound mind?
What's that?
Who
You're
is
asking
still
that
of
of the guard?
sound mind? Yes. Which of you is still in control of your mental faculties?
He's asking the guards.
Oh, you're asking
any of them.
that are
any of the guards. He just looks at you like, is this the same one that you were talking to, Brick, or is this a different one that you're trying to?
Well, I thought the one I recognized was a corpse.
No, the one that you recognized was the one that was sobbing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I mentioned that it was the one that you were treating.
No,
yeah. He is a guardsman has gone bye-bye, Egon. That guy is like, you can start yelling at him and he's just not tuned in at the moment. The others
Seneca and say this guy isn't going to be any help. It's fine.
Yeah. Are any of these guys, because I'm saying this generally to any of the guards that are there, which of you are in control of your mental faculties right now?
They are two are unconscious, one is on the ground weeping, one is staring dazed at the fire, and the last one is actually moaning in pain, as you can see that he has burns all up and down the right hand side of his body. So they're not just standing about. These guys are in grave distress.
Okay. I really only have.
I should have painted a clearer picture.
No. That's not the okay. It's the okay. I understand my options. Like, you're not doing anything wrong.
Okay. Well, and as you're looking around, assessing all of this, and realizing that these are some of the guys from the bathhouse that were assigned to guard it and stop anything from coming out, you hear, and here comes Birch with a pair of fire bucket brigades on his back. and you look and you see the Captain Skellerang coming with a dozen more guardsmen and other volunteers assorted with buckets and other things.
Greg, I actually do still have my potion of greater healing, so I'd like to use that on the badly burned guard.
Okay.
That you just mentioned.
All right, sure.
Too nice. Those are so expensive.
So he can have 17 health back.
Oh, he's back at full. He you kind of like shh, it's okay, and you uncork your potion and pour it down his gullet, and after a moment the screaming stops, and you can see the boils slowly start to recede on his body, and the char start to fade, and he it takes a little bit, but finally, like the burning starts to heal, and it's just left with a very, very severe, angry red series of blotches up and down.
Can I get his eyes to? Is he able to focus on me or anything, or is he still just sort of in a daze?
Oh no, this one was yowling in pain. This was not one of the ones who was just. There's one guy who's got the Vietnam 1,000-yard stare right now at his handiwork, and this is the one who was on the ground, howling in agony.
Okay, so if it appears that he's got his senses and he's just in pain, I'm gonna be like, I need you to focus.
Give me a second. Okay. It takes him a minute. It takes him about a minute or two for his brain to catch up with what the rest of his body is in its state. But he finally starts to calm down, and he sits up and he looks about, and he's just like, he sees everything, and the master told us to tell you it was him.
Did you actually see the master? Can you describe him?
He won't let me, but he says to tell you he sees all, he knows all.
Does he appears to be back in his own mental control? He's not.
He's openly admitting to the fact that he is under this creature's influence. And actually, you know what? Hold on a second. No, Joe, hold on. Because you want to know why? Because this guy actually does get a saving throw for the fact that he just took a massive amount of damage that was caused by his boss. So let me. Oh, come on. I think my holy crap, he actually made it. All right. He shakes his head, and you see his eyes focus and clear, and he says, he took us by surprise. He was so fast. He got the guys inside. They came out. They grabbed us and they put us in front of him. And he forced his gaze upon us. We were helpless.
What? So, vampires as a creature are well known, right? Do they have, other than obviously teeth and tongue, do they have physical descriptive elements that he might recognize and be able to ID as this thing was a vampire for sure? Or
he looks at you and he says, I have never seen the face of evil in my life until now, but a big, hulking, fur-covered goblinoid creature with disgustingly sharp teeth and glowing red eyes and giant bat ears.
All right, that's the man we're looking for, or thing. All right, well, when you take a few more minutes, gather yourself. When you're good to go, help us out with the fires, help us out with the injured.
Don't trust the others. Don't trust the others. They might still be under his control.
Good to know. Thank you.
How there were 8 of us here. How many are?
He's a sobbing, uncontrollable mess. That's a pair of legs. There's another one standing over there. There's another one.
Forget it. I'll.
There might be a handful of you still alive, but I don't know if the rest are still under his control or not.
What happened to the ones who were left behind?
Seneca, what happened back at the bathhouse?
They're subdued.
All right, alive but not free to roam.
Yes.
All right. At this point, Captain Skellerang and the fire crew come running up. What's going on here? What happened?
A bomb went off a bomb appears to have gone off in front of the church. There's a number of dead. There's people trapped inside. This is the work of Drakthar, a vampire who used a bunch of the guardsmen apparently to come out here and set off the explosion.
The will of many of your men has been subjugated.
We don't know how many are still under his thrall.
Phelps,
So be wary.
tend to the wounded, cuff them all. Start a triage. Simmons, get the fire buckets over on there. Get those flames out now. Everybody else, set up a perimeter. How do we know who, if anyone's still trapped in the church?
I heard noises and Feld ran through the flames. It hasn't returned, so I'm assuming he made it in safely. No clue who's left alive.
He ran directly into the flames. That's a big assumption.
Well, he's a golden scale dragonborn, so he shouldn't have any issues with that.
Learn something new every day. All right, guys, get to work. Get to work. Inside, you guys are pulling the wounded and the dead away from the entrance. You're with the assistance of those who are still functional and under the orders of everybody inside and outside. Eventually, the flames are out. At the end of all told, when the last of the flames are extinguished, the front facade of the church is ruined. Part of the stone is blown away. You really do have questions about the stability of the structure at this point. The front could collapse at any time. The doors have been utterly destroyed, leaving everything open. And in addition to Brother Rufus, you count the bodies of 5 dead Helmites, another half dozen injured, but healing magics get everybody back into fighting fit pretty quickly, with the exception of, the mental trauma associated with all of this. And then, of course, the 3 dead guardsmen outside. The 5 sit there. Even the one who snapped out of it, he says, no, I'm fine now. Just and the captain just looks at him and says, "You stow it." And after a few moments, or as everything seems to calm down, the 2 parties are able to meet in the middle at the entrance of the church. I'd advise against that, though, because you're not certain if it's going to collapse anytime soon.
During this, I will try to use mending 1 foot at a time. It takes me 1 minute per time of doing this to try and add some structural stability back to the blown out parts. Any place where there is a 1 foot tear or smaller, that is where I will be.
All right, so you start working on some of the smaller cracks, but there are some big fissures that are going to take a lot more than mending to repair. You're going to need dwarven stonesmiths to start, just to actually there's going to be scaffolding up on the face of this church for a long time.
We should probably meet up just outside the church. The church.
Well,
is the symbol of the church out front, is that in any way intact?
The what?
The symbols of the church, are those in any way intact outside, or are those gone?
The ornate sign of Helm on the front door is obliterated.
Then
or that was over the front door was completely obliterated.
Then after it is clear whether or not I have any ability to keep things structurally sound, that is the very next thing that I'm working on.
Your magics aren't going to be able to repair that. It's too big. It's too much. It's in particles. So, yeah.
Once the fire is out, I'm going to go outside and carry in Brother Rufus.
Okay. Jenya, of course, horrified. Lay him to rest in his quarters. We'll tend to him soon. We should all we need to talk. So, with that, Captain Skellerang has the 5 that were under control taken back to the taken back and thrown in a cell temporarily.
I advise him that there we've shared, correct, that there were another 4 at the bathhouse that we left in chains and incapacitated.
Yep. He nods and sends a squad of men down there to retrieve them as well. He looks very fearful as he orders them off, and they all kind of are like, okay. And he just looks at them and is like, be careful. You could tell that their confidence is quite rattled at this point, that this is something that is way above their pay grade. This isn't drunken tavern brawls. This isn't somebody not paying their taxes. This isn't somebody coming into the town that, skipped over paying the fees, or, snuck in on a cart or something like that. This isn't petty theft. This isn't regulating a festival, a crowd at a festival. This is a monster attack, and one that actually struck at the very core of their group. They are scared and they are angry, but they are far more scared than angry right now. The captain. Oh, go on.
When I see that they're shaken, I offer to go with them.
Okay. Sir, Jenya looks at you and says, hurry back. There is much to discuss.
Yes.
So you head down there, and as everyone else, you guys have now gone from putting out the fire to cleanup and securing the dead and still tending to some of the wounded. It doesn't take you terribly long. You guys double time it back down to the bathhouse. When you get there, the front door is open, and there is a pool of blood trickling out the front.
Are there any? Looking inside, are the bodies still there, or what is the
4 guardsmen? You see 3 dead guardsmen, their throats slashed, and a puddle, as if somebody was almost liquefied, like a puddle of clothing filled with maggot-covered pus and just rot.
I look to whoever's the. I look to this. Do you wish to recover the bodies of your compatriots now, or what is your standard procedure?
This is a crime scene. We have to treat it like a crime scene. We'll set up a post here, but we need. Sir, I can't ask these men to stand guard over this, not when this thing is tearing through our ranks. We can't. We need. And at that point, you hear from behind you, I think that's where we can help. And you turn around and you see 4 individuals, 2 male, 2 female, not wearing any particular uniform, but wearing the garb of adventurers, standing there looking over this. Sir Feldricken, this appears to be well over their pay grade. We might be able to help you.
Did Sky come with us, or did she head back to her?
Sky's with you. Sky's with you, Brick. She is. She's been helping any way she can. The thing is, you could tell that this actually really, really bothers her. Brings her back to the lifestyle that she left behind a long time ago, and it's really incredibly difficult for her to be dealing with this.
I'll pull her aside and say, if you need to go, you've helped enough here. Don't feel obligated to get involved further. Also, those were the adventures you were telling me about earlier, correct?
Out of game? Are you asking me? You'll have to find out in game.
In game, I'm telling her to go, and also FYI, those were the.
No, you're not. You're not there.
Oh, okay.
No, he went. Feldricken went back to the bathhouse.
I thought we had all gone back to the bathhouse. Okay.
Oh no, sorry about that. These are you guys are all still at the church. Only Feld went to the bathhouse. You see this black woman with long braids. Standing there, she has a lute strapped to her back and a rapier on her waist. She has a companion with short red hair, green eyes, and a scar on her chin. And then two, you see a harsh-looking fellow with a cleric symbol on his waist. You don't recognize the symbol. Got a very big, almost like Cro-Magnon brow a little bit. Looks very dour. And then scruffy, brown-haired, green-eyed dude in woodsman's colors with a bow strapped to his back. And the first woman steps up to you and she says, "Anna Taskerhill, we're the Stormblades. We're here to help."
Understood. So the redhead is not the same redhead that I saw.
Not the same redhead.
Yeah.
And she indicates, she says, "This is Cora," to the redhead, pointing to the redhead. "Todd," the pointing to the dour-looking priestly fellow, and Zachary, our woodsman.
Stormblades. A good name. So I would not recommend venturing inside. There is every indication.
Vampire. We've been listening, and we're aware of a few things. So we'll be happy to help them hold down the fort if you need to reassemble with your group. I take it that you're going to be going back down here soon.
Yes. Is there any other information that you've gleaned from hearing whispers that may not be as apparent to those who don't have your information?
Nothing I'm at liberty to share right now.
I see. And Miss
nothing you probably don't already know.
I see. And you are the leader of this band?
Well, I wouldn't say that we have a leader necessarily, but they let me speak for everyone else here because I'm the pretty one. Actually, I say that Todd here is the pretty one, but they all think that I'm, I speak nicely.
I chuckle and I say, thank you for that. It has been a long night. Until we meet again. And I dash back towards the the church.
Cool. It's about a 30-minute round trip, all this, and you finally come back and you see Captain Skellerang standing and talking with Jenya and with Sir Alec, and they turn as they hear you coming up the road, and they say, "Well, what happened down there, or what is going on?"
Unfortunately, all of your men that were left subdued there have been killed. 3 of their throats were torn out, and one, I don't believe I've ever seen this action before. It was basically as though his body was disintegrated and there were just maggots where his form once was. A group known as the Stormblades are currently assisting in securing the perimeter of the bathhouse, as it is.
Jenya says, "Who?" And Skellerang looks at her and says, "Taskerhill's kid."
It was clear that your men were quite shaken, understandably so, and they volunteered to assist. They are aware of the vampire. It appears they have good information, or they are aware of the goings-on. Not that I should be surprised if this is, as I understand, this Tasker Hill family is quite well connected here in this city.
The Stormblades were doing some other work for me.
I see.
The captain says. You are not the only adventurers in this town, nor are you. And no one party is able to handle the many-faceted needs of the city, especially with the guard not being equipped to handle a situation like this.
You should know, Captain.
Threats like these.
You should know, Captain, that I believe I had an encounter with Jill, and she wanted me to relay to you that her debt was paid when she gave the information as to the location of the bathhouse.
Noted. I'll keep that in mind. Is there anything else?
Not at the moment.
Well, why did Drakthar? Why did this Drakthar do this?
Well, one can his eye for an eye. Well, did I see the eye for an eye?
Yeah, you saw it. Yeah, and at this point, you guys all see the rest of you guys see this conversation happening and are slowly drifting towards it.
We were aware of the goblin incursion. We went to explore while venturing down underneath the bathhouse, which appears to be the warrens in which Drakthar holds its domain. We got into a confrontation. Some barrels of oil became alight. We also cast an entangling vine that entangled a number of his goblins, and we attempted to set those vines alight as we intended to go back to finish this fiend.
We blew up his lair. Not intentionally, but that's essentially what happened.
And yet,
killed a bunch of his goblins.
So the captain hears you say this, and you could see his expression turn quite stern. So you kicked the hornet's nest and left. Is that what you mean to tell me? You went in, you blew up you blew up part of his home and left.
No, we found what was going on. We fought a number of were-rats. We reported back to your men, who we did not know were compromised, who were told to go and relay this information to you. And in preparation, left the bathhouse guarded with 2 members of our party there to ensure the safety of the town as we prepared to go back and finish.
So 2 members of your party were there. Where were they? Which ones? Which ones? Where were you? You left my men to die?
Captain, I note your accusation.
You watch your tone with me, sir.
Today, the will of many of your men was subsumed by the tyrant Drakthar. Many innocent because of this lapse in mental fortitude.
You have a pair of arms grab you. 2 pairs of arms, one on each side, as guardsmen who were nearby come over and latch onto you. And Sir Alec steps forward. It's like, sir, all right. Captain. We're going to talk about this rationally, or we're not going to talk about this at all. Oh, no, pardon me. I should do that in my... We're going to talk about this rationally, or we're not going to talk about this at all. This way you know who I'm talking It's tough when I've got 5 characters in the same scene. So.
Captain Skellering, I might remind you, you asked us to look into this, and that was exactly what we did.
Well, apparently I need to get someone more subtle next time. Because you're looking into this How many are dead now? How many of my men are dead? How many of your men are dead and women?
How many
Look what
of
happened
your
to your
men were
church.
compromised?
I don't know, but they wouldn't have been
Johnson.
compromised if you hadn't gone and stirred them up.
Captain, your men were already
I ordered you
compromised.
to I hired you to investigate this, not to bring their wrath down upon us.
And why did you hire us instead of using your own men?
Because my men are not equipped to handle the supernatural. It is like feeding lambs to the slaughter. And at this point, his men stop and kind of look at him and look at each other, and he knows that he.
And you think by putting Seneca in chains, and that's simply just one less person that can deal with this issue if you throw him in jail for this. And for what it's worth, we didn't instigate this on purpose. They were going to flood the building, and one of our members ran down into the tunnels to take them away. So we went to rescue him. The explosion was purely accidental. None of this was an intentional kicking of a hornet's nest.
Tell that to Drakthar. Apparently, he doesn't care about a distinction.
I don't care about much.
From what we've
And
gathered,
I see that because he is incapable of
Sir
distinct
Alex says,
you yourself.
friend Seneca, the good captain has lost many men tonight. Perhaps antagonizing him is not the best move at this point. We have all suffered losses. Please have heart and consider treading carefully. We are all in this together, Captain. Jenya stands there. She's been holding what you recognize to be. Oh, you guys are assholes. I mean, you know, yeah. Yep. Just for anybody who's watching in the private chat, they're like, well, we didn't lose anybody tonight. And it's like, well, I can fucking fix that if you really want to. Don't go pointing it out because you are standing under an unstable structure. I'm just saying. All right.
I just want to know what he thought he was getting when he hired the brute squad. He didn't hire the.
Well, but when did we come up with
the
this
little squad?
We met in an alleyway, and then the next day we're hired. I mean, when did we really? There was no title to. I think
that's the whole funny thing, though, is that you guys were put in a place of prominence and fame simply because you lucked into an adventure, then were dumb enough not to get killed. So. Clearly that means you're more qualified than anybody in the town guard. Just pointing that out there.
The fact that he hired a bunch of randos off the street who didn't know each other is probably more of a warning sign than us being named the brutes.
Well, how is he supposed to know you guys didn't meet until that night in the alleyway? You have your own brand. You're even selling. There's onlybrutes.com. I mean, he's. Never mind the fact that T. Skellerang is like the first customer that you had sign up on the pay-per-view section. So, anyway, so
Captain. So you
were they
hired us
dead when you
to
left them? Tell me honestly. Did you kill them?
No.
Your men attacked us, and we put them to sleep.
So you left them vulnerable and unguarded.
We are perfectly capable of recognizing when people are being used against their will. We became immediately aware of this and subdued them.
So you left them vulnerable and alone.
I'm sorry. Remind me, who was it that failed to train these men to be able to handle the types of threats that they would be dealing with in this city?
Oh, I'm sorry, because we deal with vampire threats, and Sir Alec once again just like he stiff arms both of you, and he says, "That's enough. Both of you take a walk." 22 on an intimidation check. So if you want, you can make a will save or a wisdom save.
Why not?
Yeah.
If I can somehow get over a 22, then I deserve to stay here.
Yeah.
I did not, but I did very well.
You and the captain actually also just goes from staring at you to looking at him, and they kind of mad dog each other for a moment. And you actually see for a second as Sir Alec, his eyes flare with holy righteous might, and the captain, he stops, he takes a walk.
Oh, wait, sorry. What was it? Was it 22?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Still good.
Yeah. 22.
Captain, before you leave, I have a proposal, a question, a suggestion. You hired us to investigate this goblin situation. And within hours, we found their lair, their entrance. Things went bad, but this has been a problem for a while. We want to avenge the deaths of your men. Do you want to hire us for that now? We know where the entrance is. I want to kill this guy as much as you do. But I don't think your guard should be the one to do it.
Whatever I can do to ensure that the next time I see you have that thing's head, you let me know that it's yours.
We're going to need help. I've never faced a vampire before. What do you know about vampires?
Oh, since we're here, who's using Lorenzo? You use daggers, right?
I do.
Brick is gonna pull out a really nice silver dagger and hand it over to you.
Ooh, nice.
You might find use for this later, Lorenzo. I picked it up over at Sky's.
Brick, Sky. Speaking of Sky, she kind of looks over at you and she says, "Hey, I had a nice night tonight, but I don't think this part's for me."
Yeah, no. You don't. You know, it was very nice. We should finish our discussion another time, but don't feel obligated to stick around. It's been.
I can't stick around, but I'd like that too.
All right.
Okay.
I druid craft a warm breeze, just kind of float some flower petals behind
she looks up at you, and she actually goes and moves to embrace you, and she just looks up and whispers, just be safe.
Gentle rose petals float behind.
What was that, Joe? And yes, the rose petals go by, and
his heart grows 3 times.
Uh-huh.
Almost. Brick looks at Birch and is like, not cool.
Okay. So, High Priestess Jen.
Think about is the scene in Little Mermaid when they try to do the thing in the lagoon,
mm-hmm.
and then the seagull starts singing.
Kiss the girl?
Yeah. Very much that moment.
It's just the first date, guys. Stop putting so much pressure on it. Jeez.
Yeah. And Sky turns and she starts leaving, and she sees all these little things. And she's like, "Your friends are jerks, but they might not be wrong." And she kind of just like skips off a little bit. As happy as she can be, considering the fact that she just witnessed a whole cluster fuck. But High Priestess Jenya turns and says, "Action must be swift. We can't leave ourselves vulnerable to another attack at this point. What can we do? The church at this point is compromised, our stronghold vulnerable, our numbers depleted significantly. Sir Feldrican, what do you need?"
I left my glaive to finish being silvered in the event that we come across any other were creatures. We encountered 4 in the bathhouse. I believe any able-bodied adventurers, along with healing potions, and from the research that our other party members have done, anything that would assist in the slaying of vampires, and especially the prevention of swaying. As we've seen, this creature has the ability to take over the minds of individuals.
Well, take over the minds of individuals. Then I'm stuck, Sir Alec. I'm stuck. Do we send multiple parties down and risk them being turned against each other, or do we? Do we?
You have nothing that can provide a defense against possession, control?
I don't even. I mean, perhaps wards against evil might be able to do it. They might be able to prevent it. That I haven't dealt with a vampire's gaze before. This is.
We should send a runner to the university, see if they have anything that that they might be able to offer in that regard. That's the biggest danger of us is us getting controlled. Beyond that, I'm frankly exhausted.
Yes.
I don't think it's, and looking at the rest of the group, it doesn't look like anybody else here is in particularly great shape either. And while I fully agree that we should not waste time, I don't think it's a wise idea to send us down there right now in our current states.
You must at least rest. We all need time to recover at this point.
I'm able to. There's a spell that I do know that assists in resisting this, but I could only cast it on myself or on one, and it would require my focus. But yes, perhaps our friends at the Blue Crater, if there's anything else that they can assist, and we would still need, as we had before, that spell that assists in seeing in the dark, so that we don't make ourselves giant targets. But yes, we must also rest before we go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Some of you guys still have dark vision right now, for a little longer at least. Okay, well, Sir Alec turns and says, "They'll know you're coming. Is the bathhouse the only entrance here that we know of, or are there other ways down?"
It's the only one we know of.
But certainly there must be other ways. There's no way that that's the only place that...
It could be the only way in. There are many holds that only have one, or we could try and make our own way in, depending on... That'd be quite loud.
I think there's been enough explosions.
It seems as though those who have seen this Drakthar, the one who was able to break himself away from the thrall who was damaged in the explosion, he spoke of being dragged down to him, but he didn't say whether it was through the bathhouse or no.
Give me a wisdom check on that, Paul.
I mean, I assume Seneca and Birch would have seen something like that.
Oof.
Wouldn't imagine.
Okay.
That was a wisdom save, and even with a +2, it was a 4.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. There's a lot of this is by far the biggest danger that we could be facing right now. This is the greatest threat to the city. Sir Alec turns to you and says, "They will be expecting you to come back, and soon. You have to expect that they're taking even now to fortify their position."
Yes.
I shall go down and stand watch at the bathhouse, and in the morning, after you've had an opportunity to rest, I will lead a party to assist you.
Excellent.
And Jenya says, "Is that wise?" Well, if they're warriors of the church, then perhaps we can use our magics to keep us safe, at least temporarily. The wards against evil only last minutes at a time, but a well-timed one might be the difference between survival and death. Now, if they are barricading their position, how will we breach it? What can you tell us about the space down there that you were fighting in? What do we need to know? And at this point, Jenya invites everybody in, and she says, we should take this into a more secure space with fewer ears about. Everybody nods, and so they take it into the kitchen.
I'll probably find temporary lodging somewhere.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the damage was done pretty much exclusively to the front of the church. So your things and other things are all relatively intact. It's pretty much just like the vestibule, front vestibule, and the doors and the entryway. The keystone at the top of the arch is still hanging there, but not securely. Although some mending was done to it. Seneca did manage to get to stabilize it and actually saved it probably from coming down, even with his small efforts. So the captain says that he definitely wants to be in on the meeting with everybody. So the 10 of you go into the kitchen and sit about the great table that you've sat about many a time before. And at this point, this is the first moment that you really feel the loss of Brother Rufus, because he would always be the first to offer coffee or a snack in these sessions and provide just whatever was necessary. You could see Jenya turn to summon someone, and she stops and she whispers to another young acolyte. You recognize this as one that had been working in this, working within the kitchens, but hadn't been in this position before. She says, "Please, coffee and food." And he nods and goes off. How will we breach their defenses? And what can you tell us about what's down there?
Start making a little diagram of what we've seen so far, but there isn't. Oh wow!
I know, right?
Wow, Birch.
Wow, Birch. Damn.
Our druid is greedy and dark.
What happened to the chat?
Bedroom.
No. If you're gonna disrupt the chat that much, you deserve to get out. If you stopped you stopped all of us dead in our tracks with
gallows
that, so.
humor, laugh or cry. That's some Irish. say that he's now like bacon, or that's all right. He'll make even better smoked bacon when we bring him back to life.
Look, I don't think there's anything greedy about asking permission to go down there and wreak havoc, right?
Were you asking to get paid?
I think it was
hired. We're just going to do it anyways. It's the right thing to do.
It's a pretty good way to make sure that we don't get frozen out of it. It was a pretty smart move on Birch's part.
He's trying to arrest Seneca for arguing in the streets. I'm trying to get, permission if they want to pay us. That's fine.
And I have literally no money, so I would like to get paid so I can learn some more spells. So
you said hire us. That means we get to send an invoice.
That's right. That's right.
So we draw. I show them. We haven't seen very much. We basically only saw a narrow corridor to the north, a narrow corridor to the south, and a small room and an antechamber that we set ablaze.
Okay, so you're diagramming all this out for them, and so what can you tell us about
from what we've seen so far? It's all of this is filled with choke points. Seneca, you ventured, I believe, furthest down, correct? You and Ursa.
I did.
Can you describe the antechamber that where the explosion, etc. was?
After the bed chamber, the antechamber that was full of storage broke off into a cavernous area. It was less finished than the
Perhaps that's what they climbed up into. Took the walls out, and that's how they came up into. Because that they talk amongst themselves for a moment. That used to be a temple of a dwarven temple. Yes, was it Moradin or one of the other gods? And they said, well, it was abandoned long ago. But matter of fact, the whole hall used to be a temple, and then they moved down into the Malachite Hold, and Aurak took it over and turned it into the bathhouse. And I guess he just closed up the way down into the church. And then they must have come through the walls. That's what it sounds like, at least.
He explained to me that he discovered the entrance to that old dwarven temple one night. He closed it up, but a mist came under the door, presumably Drakthar, and at that point he was compelled to allow the goblins access to the city through that entryway from the temple and their warrens.
Lorenzo, you spent a good deal of time down there.
Yes.
What else did you find?
I couldn't see anything, and I was running around killing goblins.
Okay, so there's goblins.
So it's your fault.
Well, in my defense, I didn't blow the place up.
So it's my fault.
Well,
there is a real danger to. We only know one entrance, and they know we know that entrance. So we're gonna just tomorrow, I guess, barge down the one place they know we're gonna go. God, sounds real dumb.
Are there any other dwarves in the city who were familiar with this temple? Was there another way to this temple?
God, you know who would be super useful right now? Is Katha.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Has it been known at all for there to be an entrance to this temple from the Malachite Hold?
Not from the Malachite Hold, no. Jenny speaks. During certain annual rituals when there would be an exchange between the faiths, I had been down there in my early years as a priestess in training, before they had moved fully down into the Malachite Hold. And I recall that this was a very small structure, just a few rooms to the north and a few rooms to the south and a storeroom off of the stairway. But beyond that, it was humble. The best way to describe it, humble.
Well, the storeroom's gone.
Apparently.
Did the dwarves ever speak of having problems with goblins there in the past? Or this Drakthar seemed to speak of Cauldron as though he views this area as his own.
Well,
unless
Skellerang speaks up. He's like, well, that explains a lot of the graffiti that we've been seeing.
There has to be another way in as well, because obviously goblins didn't walk through the bathhouse and discover it down there. Way.
Yeah, but this is a volcano. You know, there's fissures all over the place. There could be entrances everywhere. You know, it's really kind of hard to figure out what crack leads where. I mean, I know that actually, Birch, you remember how was it you who Katha took around through the oh no, that was her boyfriend's that she took around through the alternate entrance that went through the Underdark to get to the Malachite Hold. So that was Felian and Fario. Well, it sounds to me that the only if we don't want to leave ourselves exposed and vulnerable for long here, it sounds like the only way in is through.
I wish there's a way to lure him up, but we don't know what he wants, do we?
Well, based on some of the graffiti that we've seen, it seems like he just wants to cause inspire fear and claim this space as his own. He wants to claim the whole town. The goblins' graffiti also spoke of cage makers. I don't know what they mean by that. But hey, cage makers, this is our town too. Have you? That was written in my reports as one of the tags. Although it could be a mistranslation. The goblin tongue is crude.
You don't think if we hold like an honorary key to the city party for him, he'll show up?
What, Greg? Are vampires fairly uncommon? I wouldn't off the top of my head know a lot about vampire lore.
You would not know a lot off the top of your head about vampire lore. I mean, you guys did find out some information.
Okay.
But what I mean,
Brick is going to raise a suggestion that again we should probably touch base with the university. I wonder if perchance there's something that's actually trapped the vampire in Cauldron. Like he physically can't leave the city for some reason. I don't know, besides the classic assumptions, steaks and garlics and stuff, if there's something that compulses.
Didn't you guys already do some vampiric research?
Yes. Yeah, I can tell you that garlic is useless from what I was reading earlier.
Well, I stick with the question of whether or not he's actually trapped in the city, and that's what the reference is. Is there something?
Are we not? Aren't we forgetting that before I was here, all of you dealt with trafficking of sapient beings before any of this? Like, there's clearly been some slave trade that's been going on for some time.
I don't remember any of that now.
No, I also initially thought.
Fuzzy right now.
I also initially thought about slavers.
So if the goblins or this thing, which sounds like a hobgoblin or a bugbear or something like that, some other kind of large goblinoid creature, is ascribing some sort of problem to slave traders, then it is entirely possible that we already have a mutual enemy, one that the rest of you have already dealt with to some degree. And I think that the current guards, those who have survived, now have a very good sense of what it means to be denied their living. And I don't think they're ever going to forget that.
They're going to be, sorry, I lost you for a second. They're denied their what?
We have well, not that many guards left over because 5 of them are dead. But the other 7 are probably never going to forget the fact that they were forced to act against their will, that they know what it's like to be without their liberty. So, if this person is going and fighting against slavers by enslaving other people, that's a pretty twisted act of vengeance. And one that they're not going to get a lot of mileage out of that.
So it seems like there are more players here than we were aware of at first. Well, that still doesn't answer the question for me here, and that's how do we get past? How do we breach that beachhead down there? How do we get in there?
Well, unless we find another entrance, the only way is through. Especially if we don't have yes, I believe they are. The element of surprise is unrealistic. They do tend to prefer to be out at night, but I don't know how quickly they tire. And I don't know that we have any gnomes in the city that have the ability to control the mining machines that we encountered in Zadarun. That would make short work of getting through any barriers.
I mean, explosions and fires worked well last time.
Yes,
That's
but that is assuming we don't create cave-ins.
I have Captain speaks up. He says, I have a gnomish guardsman. I could send him down. Where you know where these automatons are that you speak of? How reliable are they?
They seem to be in quite good condition when we were in Zatarun. They were guarding a defunct area that basically was a jail. I believe we left. The rest of the group recall? I recall two in Zatarun.
There were at least two that we didn't set off near the ends of our going through the rooms, and we still, by the way, have a monster on the loose down there in the forge room.
The captain says, I believe that has been handled.
Handled by who?
By who?
I believe that has been handled, but I can send a team down to the down to retrieve one of these pulverizers, these automatons.
I'm not sure how I feel about making our own door without really knowing where things are.
My suggestion was that if they are setting up barricades, because we'd be able to see the areas of the walls, that these automatons would be able to move through their barricades. Not about necessarily cutting through the walls themselves.
Well, I think you're right that surprise is not a tactic that we're going to be able to use very effectively. And I think the more firepower and just what's the word I'm looking for?
Brute force?
The more firepower and brute force that we can throw in, I think the better. We'll do better.
Well, then I shall. Then as you rest, I shall send a team down with my gnomish guardsmen to retrieve at least one of these pulverizers, these automatons. These what is pulverizer? Yes, am I using the right term?
I'm not familiar with gnomish machinery, but that seems to be, if I were looking in a catalog of purchasing a machine that I've encountered, if it was listed as a pulverizer, it would make sense.
Yeah. Lorenzo, by the way, something really important, real quick, that Nate, while you were stepped away, there was a piece of a conversation that occurred that at one point, no, you got a new puppy. It's important. The puppy needs to be taken care of. Little pupper. Well, there was a piece of a conversation that occurred that you might have some insight on. So, and that your character was present for. That at one point, Feld and Brick mention how they've got to get back down into Zatarun at one point to take care of the remaining monster, and the captain just simply says, "Well, that's been handled."
Oh yeah, you sent a crew down there to take care of it, did you?
Excuse me? How did you know about that?
Well, I have my ways of finding out all sorts of things.
Noted.
Well, Captain, you did just say that you took care of it. There's not many ways to take care of such a thing other than sending another group down. Did you?
Go on.
Well, yes, it would be nice to share what they found, considering our condition of our friend and how we'd had conversations about perhaps re-entering the area, seeking a solution to our friend's predicament.
The Stormblades were sent down there, and they exterminated what I believe was called a grell efficiently. And beyond that, they were sent down there to exterminate any sort of threats, so the city can begin its reclamation of the Enclave.
So, I would just like to suggest, back to the plan of attack, that we do it in the daytime.
That sounds wise. Goblins are nocturnal.
Yes, that was what we were speaking of.
Goblins and vampires both.
That sounds wise. We shall. I'll send the team down to get the pulverizer. They should be back here in time after you have had a chance to recover. And
Are we quite certain that we don't wish to punch a hole through the top and let the daylight in? We have a good sense of where it is that the storeroom is and where it breaks off into the fissure. By simply plotting out the distance from where that is and knowing the number of stairs and how deep it goes, there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to find exactly where to drop in. And they may have that entire area blocked off, and we can even make them think we're coming through there, but instead come right through the top with the sun.
The only problem I can see with that is that because of the structure of the city and how close and built everything is, we'll probably be going through somebody's floorboards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
We can rebuild a house much more easily than we can
rebuild a life, yes.
Yeah.
And if it is sitting potentially on top of the hold of a vampire and a goblin horde.
Well, and it could be a logical place that there would be another entrance. If we plot out what we know of the structure so far, we can look at where another entrance might be.
Sure, we can examine that, but also, the best and safest entrance into a building or a facility is one that you make, so I think still getting the pulverizer is the best option if we can't find. The other thing is, even if there is another entrance, we can expect that entrance to be guarded and booby-trapped if they are intelligent, as they clearly are. The safest means of entering would be to create our own entrance.
death from above.
Death from above.
Teach it at a war college?
Amongst other things.
See, I should have gone to war college rather than seminary. I think I could have gotten a lot more out of it. All right. Well, then, we need to figure out where we can drop you all in. Drop us all in. Bring in 2 squads. The brutes on one hand, and I'll rally a team from the church. Split up. Do a lot more damage that way. Sound about right to y'all?
The only problem would be if the potential risk of friendly fire, especially if the vampire was able to get to one force before the other and somehow control parts of them.
Well, that's what the good might of Helm is for, isn't it?
That is true.
Yeah. We'll just have to do what we can. All right. Well, let's go on ahead and start plotting out where we can drop this hole here or cut this hole. Get this figured out. And yeah, Captain, if you can get your men to go and retrieve one of them automatons from down below, we'll. I think the team here will rest, and then we'll go on ahead and prep that assault for tomorrow morning. Or rather, seeing as how it's almost sunrise, I'm guessing we'll go about midday at this point. But obviously, we need to go as soon as possible. Captain's like, "Yep, all right. I'll go and get a team sent down there. Now that we've generally secured the area, I think we can make that happen." So it sounds like you guys have a bit of a plan, and what do you guys want to do for prep before you go down?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Also prepare spells.
Sleep and prepare spells. That sounds good.
How do you guys feel about all sleeping in the same room or two?
Easier for us to be killed. I like it.
Well, maybe Lorenzo not like in his house and someone over here and someone
Why don't we all
over
bunk
there.
at Lorenzo's house? I bet he has sweet digs.
Right?
Well, he's got a nice flowing breeze throughout the structure at the moment. You know what with
yeah.
I believe this is probably one of the more secure areas to rest at the moment, and there are rooms available.
The
Here at
lit
the
up-
Church of Helm.
Sure.
I didn't want to have a sleepover, Lorenzo's anyway, whatever.
Yeah. Didn't want to see it at all. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's 9:40. I don't think we want to get too far into a dungeon delve tonight. But I think
Are we officially taking a full rest?
I think you guys are finally getting to take a full rest. Is this the first official full rest that you've had that's not between sessions or not between chapters?
This is very exciting.
Probably.
I think that's accurate.
All right. Well,
who needs sleep?
I hate to do this, guys, because I always like to get as many minutes as possible out of this, but I feel like that we're at the point now where we're going to go into a big-ass combat from here on out. That's going to be a whole episode in itself. So I think we will leave this here tonight, unless somebody else has anything that they want to do.
I mean, I think just getting the he's finishing up the silvering of the glaive. We just need some potions.
Glaive will be ready in the morning.
Yeah.
To borrow some money from somebody so I can get my familiar back.
Yeah,
somebody want to spot me?
What? So you can murder your cat again for shits and giggles? No, I'm not going to reward your bad behavior.
How much do you need?
10 GP.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh my!
I will gladly give you 10 gold.
Thank you. I will mark on my sheet the increased amount of IOU that I have to you. I currently owe you now total 80 GP.
Well, hey, real quick, Lorenzo, did you have anything that you want to do before we call it a night here? Because I think we're going to have to call it just a little early. Because
do I have a whole night to do whatever I want to do here before we head out in the morning, or
what's that?
So do I have like a whole night to do what I want to do?
It's been
before we head out in the morning.
It's been I mean, it's late now, but it's late, like middle of the night here, getting to be close to the morning. But you have a little bit of time. Is there anything in particular you want to do?
Yes, I would like to acquire good amount of oil for burning.
Oil for burning. That's the kind of stuff that you can get from the stores here pretty easily at this point.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah. Enough to like dispose of bodies.
Should we prepare some Molotov cocktails?
The answer is always yes.
Yes.
Fire is a good solution for vamps. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are prepping some flasks of oil and stuff like that. We can. We'll have those arranged along with the automaton and a couple of healing potions. What else are you guys looking for at this point?
If there's any specialty bolts out there for crossbow, like if people have like
bolts
of some sort, I will buy them.
What kind of specialty are you referring to?
It doesn't matter. I'm making a green arrow river, so
okay. All right.
Pull out the boxing glove.
Pull out the boxing glove. I love it. I love it. All right. Cool. Well, in that case, guys, I think we are going to call it here. I will chat with you guys in the Facebook group, and we'll figure out what your shopping lists and other things look like for next week. I hate to call it early, but dice are gonna drop next week, yo. Like this is it. You guys are going in for this crawl, and this is where the fight's at.
This is what happens when we bring in a brain like Seneca of we're not brooting it through the front door. We are, Mission Impossibling it through the ceiling.
I'm
excited. I'm gonna blow every single ability I have on the very first goblin I see, and then be useless for the rest of the episode.
Is that going to be
brilliant
before or after
squad.
you take your armor off?
Yeah, he's never getting caught without his armor again. Let me tell you that. So
classic Brick.
Well, real quick, folks. For those of you who are still hanging out, first off, I want to say thank you for sticking around. I know that we haven't been encouraging much in the way of chat tonight. There's been a lot happening in this game. I hope you enjoyed a really role-play intensive episode. I know that it's a lot of fun for me, and I hope it's been fun for the rest of the brutes tonight. That we've been doing a lot of character development and storyline stuff. So good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So glad you enjoying that Templar life. Really appreciate it. I can tell you right now, well, as I mentioned before, my name is... Shut up, Birch.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, I have an answer for you. I hope.
Who won the contest last week?
I was actually just about to bring that up. Okay.
Yes.
We are doing a drawing right now of the one name that was entered into the drawing. And Monica 13, congratulations! You need to reach out to me because you have won a certificate for a free session of Barrowmaze with me. I would love to have you at my table. We did not drop a new hashtag tonight, guys. We did not drop a spontaneous hashtag for you guys to use as a giveaway. So if people put the hashtag in the chat or share it on social media.
This is totally fine. Where's the bacon one? Where's our bacon hashtag?
That one.
Oh,
God. That one.
Hashtag crispy bacon.
Hashtag Rufus strong.
Bacon bringer.
Hashtag Rufus
strong. Wow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we were too busy mourning the loss of our townsfolk and brethren to think of a fun hashtag.
Yeah.
So, and Priestess Jenya, High Priestess Jenya is not. She's not of the ability yet to resurrect a body such as that.
No, she's not.
And
She's
not.
She's acting High Priestess. Acting High
High
Priestess.
Priestess.
She's not in a position to do that. No.
And
She's
do we
so
have any
busy
idea?
being in PJs.
Do we have any idea whether or not the Temple of Corvus generally is able to do such a thing?
Oh, the Temple of Kelvamore.
Kelvamore.
Or Kellamvor, pardon me. Temple of Kellamvor is in the business of burials, not resurrections.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They like their dead to stay dead.
I don't know if a zombie Rufus is very appealing.
It's not a
Raised
zombie.
Dead isn't zombie. You know, Raised Dead isn't zombie. I will hold on a second.
Yeah.
Well, Raised Dead doesn't have to be done within like a minute. Oh, that's Revivify.
10 days.
Yeah. And then there's bigger ones that are up to 100 and then 200 years.
And it's a 5th level spell. Bard, Cleric, Paladin, 5th level. And what spell level does High Priestess Jenya have access to? It also has to be willing to return. The body also has to be, or the spirit also has to be willing to return. She is not of the level yet to cast it. Yet.
Rufus is a pious man. He probably went to the good place. He's probably
unlike Columbus,
fine.
who went to the bad place for all the rape and murder. So, yeah.
I think Brother Rufus. Brother Rufus wasn't that old, was he?
No, he was young. He was a young acolyte,
Yes.
young faithful of the church.
Brother Rufus, I believe Brother Rufus would be happy to continue the good work.
Well, if you guys can find a way to resurrect him, then you can ask him yourself.
Yeah.
But you have about a week and a half now. You're on a bit of a timer to see if you can figure out a way to do that.
Cast gentle repose on him. Doesn't that give us some more time?
Well, no. I mean, Raised Dead is the lowest of the resurrection spells, I think.
Is Raised Dead depending on the amount of decay that his body's going to go through? Is that why there's a week time limit, or?
Let me see. Resurrect a dead creature you touch to life, provided it's been dead no longer than 10 days. So the creature's soul is both willing and at liberty to rejoin the body. The creature returns to life with 1 hit point. Neutralizes poisons and cures non-magical diseases that affected the creature at the time that it died. Spell doesn't, however, remove magical diseases, curses, or similar effects. If these aren't first removed prior to the casting of the spell, they take effect when the creature returns to life. Oh, that sucks. The spell closes all mortal wounds, but it does not restore missing body parts. If the creature is lacking a body part or organs integral for its survival, its head, for instance, the spell automatically fails. Coming back from the dead is an ordeal. The target takes a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. Every time the target finishes a long rest, the penalty is reduced by 1 until it disappears. He was decapitated.
So here's a question for you. Because when somebody dies, their body goes from being a creature to being an object.
Are you telling me you're going to cast animate object on him, you son of a...
No!
Mending.
No,
He's going to do
that's
mending.
horrifying. I'm asking if I can cast mending to restore his head, because that is a less than 1 foot rip in his body, and he is now an object, and mending repairs less than 1 foot rips and tears.
I'm going to have to get some errata on
this guy went to medical school.
Yeah.
It is
Mental repose will also give us an extra 10 days.
I'm gonna have
I'm
to
just
get.
imagining headless Rufus bumbling around trying to give people bacon and just like.
No.
Oh no.
It's interesting. We could actually it's interesting there because the gentle repose, yes, is it maxes it all out to 10 days. So I wonder whether did we miss the moment in terms of, well, we weren't there in time, but that would gentle repose allow revivify to be 10 days?
Gentle repose halts decay, so anything that's bringing something back from the dead or anything, it gives you an extra 10 days because it stops the clock on how much time you have that a spell like that will affect it.
Because all I see here says special can be cast on a corpse, increases the maximum allowed time after death for all resurrection spells. Oh, by 10 days.
Yeah, the spell also effectively extends its limit of raising a target from the dead, since days spent under the influence of the spell don't count against the time limit of spells such as raise dead.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
So we can, after we have our foray tomorrow, and I get another rest.
Before our long rest, do you have any spells left, Greysoul?
I have some level 1 spells.
Is Gentle Repose a level 1 spell?
It is a level 2 spell.
Okay. Well, then
Gentle Repose also has to be cast within a minute of death.
Yep. Sorry, Rufus.
Definitely been longer than that.
Yeah. I mean, he was dead for more than a minute before the church went up, so that was...
So Seneca and I, before we take our long rest, I think we should sneak on down to where Rufus is and respectfully try to see if you're mending on the neck and my casting of... I have plenty of spells for... I could cast Lesser Restoration twice and a bunch of healing spells just so that his body's in the best condition possible, and we'll see what it looks like in the morning.
So I had this exact dilemma in a dungeon that I've run before, and the community is split, and there's no official ruling on that, and everybody's like, basically, it's up to your DM. What I personally ruled was that the characters had to make a medicine check because you're assembling something that's a little bit more complex. And so when they went and restored the body of their fallen compatriot, they didn't succeed their medicine check that great. And so he came back, but he was pretty torn up, and he had no legs.
Okay.
If we're going to go that route, you're going to want...
with me. And I'm telling you that as a member of the community, do what you will. That's what I did.
Y'all going to make me post on Reddit about this is what's going to happen here. I'm going to post about this on Reddit tonight. I'll even share the thread with folks just so we can, maybe get some responses. But this will be a good one. I'm excited. I'm going to post. I'm going to post in the one of the DM subreddits and see what folks say.
Greysoul,
if we go down this whole, Greysoul is proficient in medicine with a +6.
Okay, I was going to say I'm a +4 in medicine, but +6 is awesome.
You can assist me.
Is that an intelligence skill?
It is a wisdom. It is a wisdom skill.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let me think on it. We'll talk about this. I think
that's all I can have.
Yep. Let me think on it. I'm going to post on Reddit about it, folks. If you're watching the stream, look for that. Look for that thread on Reddit. I'll probably put it on D&D behind the screen. That's one of my favorite little subs that I like to lurk in. So
we're going to have to start a ticker on the countdown for saving Brother Rufus. Yes, yeah. Rufus strong.
Rufus strong.
So we got 20 days.
Saving Brother Rufus.
Days.
Yeah. So, anyhow. Ladies and gentlemen, first off, Monica 13, please reach out. I will post. You can find me on social media. Go on ahead and find me on my social media. I'm at Gregory Crafts on pretty much everything, or you check that out and grab me there. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Hit me up. I would love to chat with you about this. I want to also do my opening spiel right now real quick that I didn't get a chance to do, but I'm a professional dungeon master with Mastermind Adventures. Basically, you can hire me to run a game for you like this, maybe not with as much angsty existential drama as there was tonight, or maybe if you want that, if that's your style of game, I'm totally down. We could also play Vampire the Masquerade. I'm good with that. But I offer games for hire. I currently have a bunch of games from a bunch of adventures I'm offering called Candlekeep Mysteries. I ran Candlekeep Mystery over the weekend, as a matter of fact, for a group, and they loved it. They thought it was fantastic, and I had a blast with it too. So if you're looking for a one-shot, they're longer one-shots, I can tell you that. You're looking at 4 to 6 hours for at least one of them. But because we got about halfway through it, and then I was like, sorry guys, you gotta book me for another session if we want to finish this out, just because it's too damn big. But they were totally down for it, and we've already got the next. We're working on getting the next session scheduled. I also have a group, a couple of groups now that have reached out to me about Secrets of the Barrowmaze, which is my other, which is a West Marches style mega dungeon campaign. Very excited to be running this, having a blast with it. Basically, you get to go through a 300 plus room mega dungeon. You're sharing a persistent world with up to 50 other players at any given time. Not all at the same time. I'm not running a game for 50 people at once here, I promise. Although that would be like amazing, but like the craziest thing ever to run. But you know, it's a shared world. So the effects of that, whatever one adventuring party does, those effects are persistent for the groups that follow, for the subsequent groups that go through. So you know, you can learn more about all this stuff. First off, I recommend strongly joining the Mastermind Adventures Discord. I put the link up here. It's also been in the chat. You can look in the chat windows. In, you know, whatever service you're watching this on, check out the chat windows. Find me on social media, and I can tell you about what else I'm running. But between Barrowmaze and Candlekeep Mysteries, and Jailbreak, which is my perfect introductory adventure, those are all just the D&D games that I run. I'm also looking to run a group, run Star Wars D6. I have the original 30th anniversary edition, beautiful, gorgeous slipcover version of the original D6 Star Wars. I would love to run these for folks. So if you guys want fresh out of the slipcover, ready to go, let's have some fun with this here. Somebody hit me up and let's run that. I also have Marvel Superheroes and a couple of other games like I mentioned, World of Darkness. Would love to run stuff for you guys. So please jump in, book a session with me, and let's have an adventure with you guys, just like the Brutes. That being said, yeah, that's it for me. If you guys got anything you want to share, anything you want to shout out, Adam, I know you're moving real soon.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
my surroundings are going to change every week for the next few weeks here, but it's going to be interesting. I'm going to stick around and not miss any of this. But eventually, awesome. I think I'll be playing till 1 a.m. So that's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah, because you're going Michigan, right?
Going east.
Yeah. What time zone is that? Just so you're going to be Eastern Standard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Okay. Well,
I get pretty sleepy for the last hour already. So this is going to be interesting.
Well, I thought I was bad on Mountain Time.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything they want to shout out, share?
I just remembered to remind you that I will not be here on the next Monday.
Oh no!
We're gonna kill you.
I will write down what it is that I would like to do. Yeah, well, I definitely did say it. I just didn't remind you, and I definitely should have done that because.
Well, you're going to wind up going with Sir Alex's party. Then that's how we're going to handle that. You're going to go with that party. So that see, I built it in. I've already got you covered, boo. It's totally fine. So
I personally find it fascinating that you have elected on your own to create another band of NPCs that you have to role play.
Only if you actually wind up sharing the space with them. You know, I'm just gonna, you know.
Are they not from the actual campaign? I assume they're in the actual campaign, Greg. Is this something?
Oh, Sir Alec absolutely is. But do you think this is part of the script? This is definitely not part of the script. The second you guys left there, I completely went off the agenda.
And I don't think using a pulverizer to drop down through the city is part of the regular.
Definitely not planned for. Let me tell you that right now. That is definitely. But I'm letting y'all do it. Because you remember stuff and you're using your resources in your plot accordingly. So. You know,
is a vampire were-goblin part of it?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything about the vampire werewolf druid 20th level
dragon
legendary black dragonborn down there. That happens to be Brick's dad.
You know?
No!
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yep. So yeah, no, it's not my job to tell you guys about that. You just have to wait and see and find it out for yourself. So
Daddy Block is down there. Brick is going to meet Daddy Block.
He's just a chip off the old. Oh God. All right. Well, with that, folks, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to see you next week. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please get yourselves vaccinated. Please take care of yourself. Take care of those around you. Make sure your friends and neighbors have all gotten their doses as well. A lot of places lifting restrictions. There's really no more excuses. We are so close to beating this thing, and then I'll be able to play around a real table again with these guys. Well, except for Adam and Lauren, since they're like leaving and shit. But
I got those 2 today.
Congratulations, buddy. So glad about that.
I got those 1 on Saturday.
Awesome. Hey, Adam, thank you so much for sharing that link the other day, by the way, because Jen, my wife, shared it on her feed, and then half a dozen friends of ours have already gone out to there and gotten that. So you sir are indirectly responsible for helping a lot of people. So thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had a friend share it with me. We're all kind of looking out for each other right now.
Yeah, the Riverside one or
Riverside, the Riverside location. Yeah, spreading the word about that. So
I figured if people are willing to drive to Bakersfield 4 hours, they can drive to Riverside for an hour.
Yeah, seriously, and I know I've been sending people down to Long Beach lately until that got all filled up. But it's good to see it's good to see so many people getting it. But get yours, get taken care of, stay safe. We'll see you this time next week. Roll them 20s. Thank you guys. See you soon.